heads to the House, which is on recess until the end of the month. President Trump moves forward with his attempt to remove Lisa Cook from the Federal Reserve over unproven allegations of mortgage fraud, sources say. Cook's lawyer calls the allegation baseless. Analysts expected a net gain of 83,000 jobs last month. Instead, the Labor Department reports a loss of 23,000. Totals for June and May were revised downward. KPMG chief economist, managing director Diane Swank, says one factor was the loss of temporary protected status for hundreds of thousands of Haitian immigrants.
Many employers were unclear about when they could keep those workers till, and some of those layoffs occurred ahead of time.
Todd Blanche has barely enough support to become the next Attorney General, with Senator Bill Cassidy saying he'll vote for him. This is ABC News. Wildfires in the West leading to many alerts, says ABC News chief meteorologist Ginger Z.
Most of Colorado, parts of Wyoming, Idaho, Oregon, Spokane, not just in the air quality alerts, but now back in the red flag warnings. Unfortunately, they've had that break from the winds, but the winds are going to kick back up to the 30-mile-per-hour mark in the Cascades, over to the Blue Mountains. Just watch the fire danger this weekend. It's going to be higher than it has been most of this week. The smoke not moving that much. It is away from the coast, so Seattle and Portland clear out.
Amanda Knox, convicted and later acquitted of murdering her roommate, Meredith Kirscher, in Italy 19 years ago, is set to perform comedy stand-up at an arts festival in Scotland starting today. Kirscher's sister launched an online petition against it. Knox's reaction?
I can't say that I was anticipating a petition, but I was anticipating criticism and pushback.
Knox mentions her case in the act. The petition's got over 7,000 signatures. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
Red flag warnings east of the mountains are back, and fire bans at the Olympics this afternoon. More on those coming up. But first, your KIRO Newsradio traffic. Factoria South 405 at Coal Creek Parkway. We've got a collision blocking the left general purpose lane. So if you're looking at all three lanes, it's your center lane. You're backed up into Mid-Bellevue. Ahead of that, we've got backups continuing to Northeast 44th near the VMAC where we have road work. So Bellevue to Renton right now is up to half-hour commute. North 405, you're heavy through the Renton S-curves. Typical backups heading into downtown Seattle this afternoon. North 5 will start to slow at the Michigan curve. South 5 starts in Northgate. Tacoma to Olympia, already a 1-hour trip with 16 miles of backups between the JBLM main gate and downtown Olympia. This traffic report brought to you by KIRO News Radio.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle. KIRO News Radio. Breaking news.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. We are just hearing of a security incident in the Multicare Bonnie Lake Emergency Department. Everyone is safe at this time. Police are on scene with a negotiator. The emergency department is closed and not accepting patients at this time. That is all the information we have at this moment. We will keep you updated as we receive new information. Fire danger returns east of the Cascades today with a red flag warning in effect today and tomorrow. Here's KIRO 7 meteorologist Nick Allard.
You're going to see, say, for example, a 40-mile-an-hour gust in Ellensburg tonight, and you may see another one tomorrow evening, say, at the same place east of the Cascades in the 30 and 40 range. And that makes me nervous, not because the weather itself may, have lightning or start a new fire, but anything that starts will spread rapidly, and anything that's already going, which obviously is a lot, could spread and change direction. So that's something that concerns me.
Governor Bob Ferguson says the federal government has approved a public health emergency for eastern Washington communities impacted by the recent wildfires. The declaration expands access to healthcare services, speeds prescription refills and replacement medical supplies, and allows providers to use temporary care sites while reducing paperwork requirements for patients in hospitals. Major road work is back in full swing across Puget Sound. KIRO 7 TV's Tyra Majors reports several projects will overlap this weekend.
The biggest traffic impacts will start on the east side with the full closure of northbound I-405 between North Southport Drive and Coal Creek Parkway starting late tonight until early Monday morning. Using I-5 as an alternate route will be a bit tough because Revive I-5 is still going on. We have 2 lanes reduced there across the Ship Canal Bridge for Revive I-5, and that's happening until the end of the year. In the middle of all this, the Mariners are home all weekend for their 50th season celebration. And the Seahawks will also host Football Fest tomorrow night at Lumen Field, adding even more cars to the roads around the stadium district.
A newly introduced proposal in the Seattle City Council would ban grocers from using personal data in dynamic pricing. It has Mayor Katie Wilson's support.
And it's also just a transparency and fairness issue, right? This is the way markets are supposed to work. Is there's a price that is clear and it's there for everyone, and so it's really protecting against this abuse of data collection and algorithms where personal information can be used to set individual prices.
Council sponsors are Alexis Mercedes Rink and Dion Foster. Large grocers have formed a coalition in opposition and says it prevents them from giving individualized discounts. Campfires are now banned in Olympic National Forest and Olympic National Park. The restriction took effect at midnight as hot, dry conditions continue across western Washington. The ban includes charcoal grills and any device that produces ash. Officials say propane and gas stoves are still allowed if they're used safely and kept away from flammable materials. And now your KIRO News Radio weather, mostly sunny into next week. Still a little hazy from the wildfire smoke today. Slowly clearing out, though. 86 for our Friday high, right around 80 through the weekend. Mostly sunny and 73 in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio. With your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome to the Friday edition of the Jake and Spike Show. I'm Spike O'Neill. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday, Greg.
Greetings and salutations. Happy Friday, Spike.
Thank you. What a day we're going to have here. We got quite a show scheduled for you. Laura, thank you so much for putting this together. We've got guests, we've got questions, we've got answers. Got it all for you.
We've got controversy. We've got provocation.
We'll have differences of opinion.
I hope so.
We'll have respectful conversations. Punches may be thrown, spit may be hurled.
Wow, okay.
Hey,
that's a tease.
That's you never know. I like to spit a little venom from time to time. We're going to start with a real quick overview of what will be our question of the day. A recent study by 4 major universities, educational experts, reviewing 4,600 students who had been having their cell phone, schools that have banned cell phone use in class. 4,600 schools, not students, I misspoke. 4,600 schools. These 4 major universities compared the outcomes of a cellular phone ban by 4,600 schools. The results say that there is little to no effect on grades, on attendance, for children that have been in school, and I'm not sure what the ages are for those particular kids. I imagine they'd be high school kids to middle school children. We'll give more information as we cover the story. The point being that they found no impact, no measurable benefit from banning phones in schools. Now, I think, I know they're only looking at test scores and they're looking at attendance. I think there are other elements that we need to discuss. But here's our question of the day. Should cell phones be banned in schools? As a parent, what do you think? I know we're going to have a deeper conversation later in the show today. I know there is local efforts from the school superintendent, Washington Superintendent Reichdahl, about implementing a statewide ban, because currently it's just school district to school district have a patchwork of policies. But we'd like to know your thoughts. The Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476. Should cell phones be banned in schools? All right, we turn our attention now to eastern Washington, where wildfires are still wreaking havoc on the Spokane community. Yesterday it was revealed that the man who has been charged with arson in one of those 3 fires has an incredible history of arson, of criminality, of mental health issues. Apparently the suspect yesterday was supposed to be in court for an arraignment. Of charges were supposed to be filed. His attorney asked that a mental evaluation be conducted on his client, which I think is pretty appropriate at this point. But Aaron Farinasi, I think is the agreed upon pronunciation of this gentleman's name,
who's now being held on $2 million bail.
They doubled the bail hold a bond from $1 million to $2 million, but pending a psychological evaluation. I don't think bail's the issue here. But he did admit to starting the Old Trails fire, one of the 3 fires that's affecting the Spokane community. He also, in the the police reports and the disclosure of documents that were released yesterday, he also admitted to starting 25 other fires in the Spokane area last year between July 4th and August 11th. He confessed yesterday to police. He actually kind of held up a denial front for quite a few, about 20 minutes, they said, I think, where he suggested other known arsonists and arson suspects in the area. He tried to push blame onto other individuals. Then he broke down and confessed his crime, said that he was studying wind and weather patterns for up to 2 weeks prior
to maximize damage.
To maximize damage. That just boggles the mind.
Yeah, it's astounding. And I still can't help but think of the concerned citizen that followed through with the see something, say something mantra here. And Spike, if that person had not alerted authorities, the conversation for the past 5 days would be much different. I mean, no one would know this person's name. It makes me wonder and speculate how often are fires started, not just in Washington State, but around the country by arsonists that we never hear about, right?
Right.
I mean, this person was out relatively in the open in a highly visible area, but truly it's scary to think about how many arsonists might be out there on the loose right now and might be responsible for wildfires that are going on in Canada and the East Coast and the West Coast as we speak.
As we watch fire season after fire season become more dramatic, drastic, destructive, and people that there are so many people committing arson. I apologize.
But it's so easy. I mean, again,
easy to be an arsonist.
Start one. I mean, look, waterproof matches and a butane lighter.
Well, they're just tools. They're just tools,
right?
You know, and I get it. I mean, a hammer can kill people. I'm not going to outlaw hammers. You know, when somebody is stopped and they have a fanny pack full of waterproof matches, I'm not going to take his word that he's just trying to light his cigarettes and it's windy, you know.
It makes you wonder, though, and again, I'm not a law enforcement expert, but we now know that he was stopped on a number of previous occasions being suspected.
He was a suspect in numerous other arson cases.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
the
that
day
point
that fire started, at the time they didn't know it was arson. At the time.
Right. But at that point, is his ID taken? Are they able to connect the dots of his personal criminal history? And then to say, okay, perhaps we should keep a closer eye on this individual. Now, perhaps that's not reasonable because you don't have the resources and the money and the manpower to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But I hope there will be some investigation into, could we have done more to prevent a person like this who's been known to law enforcement for years, and having him carry out something so horrific?
Well, the
I don't know.
I mean, we may never know, but the arsonist mindset to me just is. Here's a story locally from Kitsap County.
Mm-hmm.
On August 4th, a man was videoed in surveillance video from home. Thank goodness for home security cameras these days, and eyewitnesses, as you mentioned in the Spokane case. On August 4th, a video recorded someone driving into a driveway in unincorporated Port Orchard, a man and a dog in a golf cart. I wish I was making this up. A man and his dog in a golf cart pulls into a driveway, and thank goodness for surveillance cameras, and started a fire in this home. Luckily, the homeowner was home when it happened, and was able to put the fire out, and the home wasn't lost. But there was $150 to $175 estimated dollars worth of damage to this home because of this arsonist. The homeowner didn't know the suspect, had no idea why he was targeted for this arson. The suspect's being held on suspicion of first-degree arson and second-degree assault. And this happened on August 4th. This happened after the Spokane fire had become national news. At that time, you know, we're talking about 700 properties were destroyed. Now that number is upwards of 900, like 930, I believe, is the current number of structures destroyed by this fire. But on August 4th, we knew that 60,000 plus people had been, you know, evacuated or had lost their homes. They were seeking shelter, seeking refuge from this wildfire, which was 0.0% contained at that point. And this guy rolls into a stranger's garage. I mean, and the dog in the golf cart, they're humorously ridiculous elements of this story.
And what's particularly disquieting...
If you're watching, we have video that was shared by the Kitsap County Sheriff's Department. That's on our YouTube channel. If you're not watching the show, Jake and Spike Show on YouTube, you're missing half the story. But this arson arrest shows this guy lighting a fire with what is he even using? Is that like a portable torch, portable blowtorch?
And the golf cart looks like it has lights flashing on the front, almost like it's
an emergency vehicle.
An emergency vehicle.
He's got a propane tank. Literally, he's got a propane tank.
But again, the randomness of this is what is particularly
striking,
striking,
who
right?
He was or why this home was targeted.
Because when you first hear the details, you think, there might be some dispute between these individuals. There's some beef.
Right.
But the fact that it appears that they were strangers is particularly unnerving. And those are the crimes that are hard to make dollars and cents of, because you like to think, okay, this one's understandable. I get it. There was something between these two individuals here that caused someone to take a criminal act and carry it out, however wrong that might be. But the ones that are truly scary is who knows?
Right. Who knows why? What motivated
Maybe a
this
mental health issue.
Yeah.
Maybe a serial criminal who, in the words of the Dark Might, just likes to see the world burn for no reason in particular. And there are people out there like that, truly.
Clearly, far more than we were aware of. You know, it reminds me of something that Mike Lewis joined the show on Tuesday. And we were talking, we're talking about the Seattle Center, the Bite of Seattle shooting, the mass shooting. And it was the first time Mike had a chance to speak to the city about that. And he said he hated to admit, it was hesitant to admit, he took some comfort in the fact that it wasn't just a random shooting, as so many mass shootings are, that this was actually a beef between two rival gang or gang members or gang affiliates or gang adjacent, whatever it may end up turning out to be. But there was some comfort in that. And you spoke to the same feeling that, but that the randomness of these acts are what scares us all, because that puts all of us in potential harm's way. Because this guy didn't have a beef with the homeowner. He wasn't part of the HOA. He didn't have the wrong colored front door, whatever it was.
Yes.
It's just had no idea why this guy decided to light this guy. But first off, if you see a golf cart rolling around with a propane tank on the back, call someone. If you see
That's a see something, say something scenario.
See something, say something. And thank goodness, again, there was video surveillance of this gentleman. He's under arrest. The home has been damaged, but no one was injured in the property, which is great.
But doesn't it also fascinate you how sometimes trusting your gut is a good thing? Sometimes judging a book by its cover is a good thing. I know a lot of times we're called in this day and age to pause and reconsider, and you need to look at the context and perspective, and you might be rushing to judgment here, and so on and so forth.
Maybe biases or prejudices involved in your yes.
In some situations, in certain situations, it is the right call to trust your gut.
Absolutely.
And make a blanket judgment in the heat of the moment. But
you're right.
What is the
we had
threshold for that?
I wasn't going to bring this up on here, but it speaks to what you just mentioned. We had an incident in our neighborhood, not even an incident. We had a door-to-door solicitor, a young man. Okay,
we get those every day in our neighborhood.
We do too, and that's kind of the point of this. Is we had a young man come to our door. My wife was home at the time. I've got video on my video doorbell of this young man coming up and ringing the doorbell, and the interaction between he and my wife is recorded. Well, one of my neighbors put out a neighborhood email. Hey, has anyone else seen this kid? This kid came up to our door, and he gave me the creeps, and he was looking into my open garage. Was he surveilling the neighborhood? And every neighbor started chiming in with this. Hey, he came to our porch too. He said something about a national contest, trying to earn a blah, 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 whatever it may be. And they started sharing videos of this guy. And remember last year when they had broken into 15 cars, blah, 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 and they were surveilling the neighborhood. And I had
so there's a lot of conjecture here.
I had a neighbor jump into the chain and say, look, we also had an interaction with this young man. But I don't want to give the impression that he was suspicious in any way, shape, or form. Was it a scam? Was it as often these solicitors have some agenda that we can't really count on, but it's like, can we just reel our biases in, our paranoias in a little bit before we gather photographs and go to the police?
It's almost like you need equal parts both. Skepticism and being on alert, but you can't have that spill over into paranoia. and
Right.
constantly rushing to judgments. But I'll tell you a counter case to that,
Okay.
and I assume there was nothing wrong with this gentleman in your neighborhood ultimately.
No one's home or car been broken into
Yeah, okay.
since the 3 days since he came around.
But 10 years ago, or maybe 12 years ago now, my wife was at home in the middle of the day with our newborn, our first child, Penny, and there were some knocks at our front door, and it just felt like solicitors, and my wife ignored it. The knock on the door persisted, and not 1 minute later, 4 gentlemen got out of a van that was parked at the top of our driveway and ran around to our backyard and our sliding door, broke the door, and were robbing our house while my wife and newborn were at home, right? So you think a little bit of, alert and alarm could be warranted. And my wife has permanent PTSD from that. She called the cops.
Can't blame her.
Locked herself in the bathroom and yelled at the people in the house, and they booked. They weren't looking to do anything violent. They just wanted to steal the TV and iPads and so on and so forth. And they were eventually caught in this case. Okay, so
this was the era of pre-doorbells, right? Pre-interactive
pre-ring doorbells, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, but just last year, similar instance. We live in the suburbs on the east side, and there was a man who was parked out in front of our house, and was just sitting in his car for like an hour and a half. He starts sleeping there, and I'm thinking, is this a homeless person, or is this someone who...
These days, we just don't know.
And so I'm like constantly peeking out my window, who is this guy? And I'm telling you, I was about 30 seconds away from calling the cops, and then he got out of his car, and he went to go back to work at the house he was working on, 3 doors down.
Gotcha.
So again, there's this balance that exists in all our heads.
It's no way to know what the right thing to do is. It's never a bad idea to err on the side of caution, measured caution, not paranoid or biased assumptions. To your point you made earlier, you're absolutely right.
Sometimes that can save you, though, and sometimes you've misjudged the situation entirely.
Tough to know what to do. We've got all these different stories about the wildfires in Spokane. Laura found this. It's worth mentioning. This is in Kennewick. It's the kind of story. Somebody yesterday texted the show during our last call. Don't you guys have any good news? This is good news. I love this story. This is stories of Kennewick firefighters who rescued kittens trapped in a house fire. And used and they used not even real oxygen masks. They had to offer oxygen
oxygen masks. That's a thing.
Well, they look like just the kind that drops down from the airplane and during all the TV movies that we've seen.
Wow!
But they're literally holding the little kittens' faces into these oxygen masks. This was on July 30th, and these kittens were rescued. They were rescued from a house fire by the firefighters. And they were revived, and they're all fine. They got little they do have specialized pet oxygen masks fit for tiny snouts. I don't know if we're able to share that photo, Laura. It was from KIRO 7. The photo was courtesy of, if we can share that with the audience. If you're not watching the YouTube channel, you're missing half the story. But it's a wonderful tribute of a moment of, look, all's going sideways. And the fires
mittens and muffins are okay.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the guy in my neighborhood's probably fine. The arsonist is he's in custody. He's being evaluated for mental health situations. But hats off to the Kennewick firefighters. And let's speak to firefighters in general. Those, I know John Curl yesterday was interviewing a helicopter firefighter. It was a gentleman who operates a helicopter that's employed to fire service when necessary. And he spoke to the heroes that are actually on the ground fighting fires. He said, we just facilitate the resources that these heroes need. And oftentimes they're fighting wildfires. Sometimes they're fighting the house in your neighborhood's fire.
And sometimes they're not even fighting fires at all.
Right.
I know a firefighter over in the Spokane area who, apart from wildfire season, is doing a lot of the work that would really surprise you, actually. Regular calls from people to help them off a toilet.
Stuff like that. Yeah, and first responders in general. Yes, absolutely true.
That's the majority of his job is doing things like that, which is kind of wild to consider.
It's appreciated. Trust me, as a guy who maybe have needed help once or twice, getting back on my feet. Here's to you, first responders. Thank you very much. When we come back, we're going to share a personal story that one of our coworkers, Luke Ducey, has shared across the various shows this morning. We want to share it with you, the audience, because Luke's got a message that we all need to hear. It's a personal story that can benefit all of us. It's the Jake and Spike Show. Greg Tomaflin, and we'll be right back.
This hour is brought to you by Sunset Auto Family.
A wildfire disaster unfolding just east of us.
The Spokane fires
destroyed hundreds of homes and forced tens of thousands to evacuate.
Unprecedented stories of loss, devastation, and heartbreak.
It was a beautiful home. It really was.
And there was a lot of terror because it's loud, it's hot.
Join KIRO News Radio in doing whatever you can for our neighbors in Spokane. See how you can help at mynorthwest.com.
When you see this in your kitchen,
the stainless steel fridge is covered in fingerprints.
You hear this.
Leslie, people are going to think you were raised in a barn or by wolves, or raised in a barn by wolves.
Fortunately, Wyman Stainless Steel 3-in-1 cleans, shines, and protects to give you the best shine. A spray and a wipe will have your fridge shining like a mirror.
Wow, my fridge looks brand new. Your fridge looks amazing, Leslie. Sorry, I was being a little dramatic earlier.
Your kitchen says a lot about you. Let it brag with Wyman.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Don't wait, insulate. Last year, American Crawl Space and Pest Services gave over $2 million in insulation rebates from PSE, more than any provider in the state. If your home was built before 1990, you're eligible for recouping up to 95% of insulation replacement costs. Insulate with American Crawl Space and keep your home warm during the winter and cool during the summer. American Crawl, the heroes you call.
This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Our summertime savings event means 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months, backed by our unbeatable warranties. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
Get any size high-efficiency AC for just $179.99 a month with 0 upfront costs. CM Heating's Comfort as a Service includes lifetime repairs and annual maintenance at no extra charge. Book your free estimate at cmheating.com today.
License number CMHEAHL 751LW.
At Subaru of Puyallup, customers say it's the little things that make a big difference. A team that listens, straightforward pricing, seamless service scheduling, having the exact car, and a stress-free experience. And now, through August 31st, take advantage of incredible financing on select new models during the Subaru A Lot to Love event. For all the little things, choose Subaru of Puyallup, your stress-free dealership, part of the Harnish Auto family. Visit SubaruofPuyallup.com.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa this weekend only, today through Sunday. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa this weekend only, today through Sunday. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates this weekend only. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Deep discounts. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Today, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission. Free delivery. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
Hartley here from Wilcox Family Farms. You've heard the saying, you are what you eat. Eggs are an incredible source of protein and omega-3s. But have you thought about what the hens eat to make healthier eggs? At Wilcox Farms, our hens enjoy organic pastures and a diet of organic grains and flaxseed, creating vibrant yolks, richer flavor, and real nutrition for your family. Next time you're at the store, choose Wilcox Eggs. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
Your old water heater's starting to peter.
Day and night, but net
Day and Night has $150 off installation of any new water heater, including tankless, backed by a free lifetime warranty.
Hi, I'm Bruce. When your old water heater leaks or fails, the damage could be catastrophic. Whether you need an emergency replacement or you're planning ahead before it leaks, give us a call and we'll help you get into hot water again.
Get $150 off installation of any new water heater.
dayandnight.net.
Hey, how's your money situation? Are you ready for retirement? Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Leibarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and noon on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
August is Karastan month at Carpet Liquidators. Purchase beautiful Karastan carpet and get free installation. From carpet to flooring, we've got you covered at Carpet Liquidators.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. We have continued coverage of breaking news this hour. Gunfire inside the Bonnie Lake Multi-Care Emergency Room. Pierce County Sheriff's Deputy Carly Capetto says a man was holed up inside.
It was a male subject armed with a handgun inside the Multi-Care Urgent Care Emergency Room.
The man is suffering from a gunshot wound, though it's not clear who fired the shot. Police and SWAT are on scene. The Bonnie Lake Emergency Department is closed and not accepting patients at this time. We'll give you more information as soon as we learn more. A fatal shooting in Tacoma overnight leaves one man dead and another wounded. Police say it happened just after 2 this morning near North 30th Street and North Star Street. When officers arrived, they found one man dead with multiple gunshot wounds. Tacoma Police Sergeant John Correa says another victim left the scene.
An additional victim of a gunshot wound arrived at a local hospital, and that was later determined to be related to the shooting that occurred in the same area.
So far, there are no suspects. Police have put out a call for information from anyone who saw what happened. 1 week after thousands of people were evacuated from their homes in Spokane, they're still not allowed back home. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports officials say there's a good reason.
Responding to rising frustration from many of the 65,000 people told last week, get out now as flames spread through their neighborhoods. Sheriff John Knowles late yesterday said,
the decision for us to let the public into those areas will be when we are confident that there is no risk to their life immediately or into the future.
Firefighters are battling smaller fires that keep popping up in those neighborhoods, wearing full breathing apparatuses to protect from toxic smoke from burning homes and cars. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Light rail will likely be your best bet to hit the Stadium District Saturday afternoon and avoiding major congestion. The Mariners are holding their 50th season celebration, and the Seahawks are hosting their Fan Fest, both at the same time right next door to each other. SDOT's Ethan Bergerson says light rail should be option A.
Understand not everyone has that option, but every person who does take advantage of that option is, first of all, likely having a good experience for themselves is a great way to get to the game, but also means one less car on the road, which is going to help everyone.
He also suggests getting to the Stadium District early and making a day of it, and that'll be less stress for you as well. A look at Wall Street. All numbers are in the green this afternoon. The Dow up 180, S&P 500 up 42, and NASDAQ up 306. And now check on your traffic. In Totem Lake, a collision blocks the right lane of the Northeast 124th on-ramp to South 405. It's not affecting the main line at all. In Factoria, we cleared that crash South 405 at Cold Creek Parkway, but traffic is backed up at 520 now to the scene. Bellevue to Renton up to 35 minutes. Here in Seattle, South 5, we're heavy from Northgate into downtown. Linwood to Seattle plan on 35 minutes. North 5 got your usual scattered backups between the Michigan Curve and Ship Canal Bridge. In Fife, North 5, we're bumper to bumper from 54th all the way up to the truck scales. And Tacoma to Olympia, already a 1-hour trip this afternoon. You've got 16 miles of backups between JBLM and downtown Olympia. Your KIRO News Radio weather, mostly sunny with lingering haze from wildfires this afternoon, a high near 86. The weekend calls for morning clouds, afternoon sunshine, and highs will hover right around 80. 74 and mostly sunny in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Jake and Spike Show. I'm Spike O'Neill. Greg Thomas sitting for Jake Skorheim. Joining us now is a dear friend of the show, a tremendous asset to the radio station and the city of Seattle itself, to journalism in general, if I may.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot of belts to wear.
It's a heartfelt endorsement for you, my friend. Luke Ducey joins us now.
The Deuce.
I've heard you, Luke. Welcome, by the way.
Thanks for having me.
We're not going to make you cover arsonists or any other, because you are always in the street in the worst of our news stories, bringing us information that's important to the community.
Sure, absolutely.
And this time the news is autobiographical. Is that an accurate way to describe it?
That's a good way of saying that. I make a living telling other people's stories and keeping our community informed and telling them what they need to know and what's important and why to them and what's affecting them. This has been difficult for me this morning. I really went through back and forth whether I should even say anything, but it's a little different. The big news for me is I have a tumor in the middle of my head, just under my brain. And next week I'm having surgery to have it removed. The tumor is benign. I want to make sure everyone knows that. It's not cancer. And I tell you, I really think that there's so many people out there facing diagnoses and challenges far more difficult than what I'm facing, and my heart goes out to them and their family. But that said, this past year, I thought I was losing myself, and I learned that there was a reason why, and now I'm fighting to get myself back. I'm hoping by telling my story, and I hope this becomes the story, and I think it is in a lot of ways, that I might help someone pay attention to their symptoms that they're feeling and advocate for themselves to go get those symptoms checked out. Already this morning, several people have shared that they know someone else who is going through the exact same thing, the exact same surgery that I'm about to have.
Okay.
That's really cool. And others have reached out to us and said, I'm feeling kind of those symptoms too. I wonder what I should do or where I should go and what are my next steps. And I'm happy to share all that, and that's what I really want. So a little bit about my story maybe to help people out there listening. So back in May, after a series of doctor visits, blood tests, and an MRI, I was told I have a pituitary macroadenoma. So that's a tumor on my pituitary gland, which is smack dab in the middle of your head, if you don't know where that is. The tumor, mine, is pressing on some pretty important stuff, optic nerves and a carotid artery. So it's just up against it. Right. I'm very lucky I kind of caught this a little early. But
prognosis is good, right?
Prognosis is good. It's a dangerous spot.
Yeah.
Dangerous spot to be in. If you didn't know, the pituitary gland, and I've done a ton of research, I can pretty much I think perform my own surgery at this point.
Don't
try.
I know YouTube has a channel.
Make it a live event.
Yeah,
we have like a little
fixitathome.com.
The studio is like built for this. It controls a lot of stuff: energy levels, body temperature, heart rate, blood pressure, blood sugar, growth hormone, water balance in your body, milk production for pregnant women. It's in much more. Adrenal glands, thyroid, pituitary gland is. So one doctor told me if I were a TV, think about this. My remote control, my TV works fine, but my remote control is broken right now. Pituitary gland is the remote control, and I got to get it fixed. According to and this is why I think this is important for a lot of people listening as well. According to the National Institutes of Health, about 1 in 1,000 people, so not that many at all, pretty rare, have diagnosed symptomatic pituitary adenomas. However, studies suggest now that 1 in every 6 people, and if you're driving around listening to us, look around at the intersection you're at, count 6 people. I know you can. 1 out of every 6 people have these tumors and may never know it because it hasn't gotten to a stage where they feel symptoms.
And as the tumor grows, it impacts more of the systems that your body runs. The pituitary runs your body.
Yeah, it depends on which kind of tumor it is
and where it is,
and where exactly, and where it's growing, etc. An extreme version. And one listener wrote in and shared that their mother had an adenoma in that area, and it was so big, it was like almost the size of a tennis ball, and that's massive. And it was affecting vision. It gets entangled into the optic nerves. You can lose your vision. You can have blurred vision to loss of vision. People get numbness oftentimes because that blood flow from the carotid arteries gets clogged, and they have other things that happen as well. There's a lot of different symptoms for different things. For me, it was low testosterone. I thought that, which led to a blood test, which led to an MRI and the diagnosis. I thought I was just getting older. My only symptoms were I had pretty low energy, and when I'd work out, I couldn't keep muscle on. I even went hiking 7 days in the mountains, and I had knee surgery years and years and years ago, And I kept feeling on my right leg where I had my knee surgery and my right butt, those same muscle groups, like it's like I lost the muscle mass. Like I was back in physical therapy again, even though I was hiking for weeks and weeks in the mountains. I'd been training, but I couldn't keep those muscles on to be sore every single day because I couldn't. So for me, I said, wait, something's wrong. So I pushed my doctors for those blood tests, and I said,
this morning.
I want every hormone checked, and I think that's so important for people to advocate for themselves. If you think something is wrong, don't ask your doctor. Tell your doctor that I want to have a conversation about whatever it is, and I want this. That's what I want.
I think
after you do your
what's
research.
so fascinating about that point, and I think it's so pertinent and important, is that a lot of times it takes the patient, him or herself, to say, no, I want this done. Because the doctor doesn't know what they don't know, right? And so the onus is sort of on you to say, no, something really feels weird here. So I'm interested in your process of discovery, because surely everyone in the listening audience can relate to this, and that is something feels off. And what is sort of the steps of escalation you go to until you get to that point where you say, no, I need a formal diagnosis on this? Because surely, I mean, all of us have been through this. I got a weird itch in my left eye, and it's been there for 3 days, and I talk about it with my significant other, and then I might go to ChatGPT or AI and say, what is this itch all about? Did you kind of go through that, and then it had just persisted for so long, and your situation seemed to be deteriorating so much, you were like, no, I've decided now is the time to bring it up with the doctor? How long was that process?
To be honest, a couple of years.
Was it really?
Yeah,
couple of years?
yeah. For me, really kind of feeling like, but I was getting older, and so I just chalked it up to things. Now and then I got to a point where I was like, no, and I kind of for me, I was an athlete growing up. I was a college athlete, so I've always been kind of in tune with my body. And then there's a big gap in my adult years where I haven't been. I've been a lot more in tune with pizza and things like that. So
you're human.
Yeah, I'm human.
What you're saying. Okay.
So it took really kind of thinking about, this doesn't feel right. This is not right. I'm off, which led to a conversation about, hey, can we do some blood? I want to do blood tests on all my hormones. It's time, right?
Did you ever Google or
there's something
AI
called
your symptoms?
There's something called yes, absolutely.
And
AI,
was it ever close to what you actually ended up having?
Yeah, it is.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't do that beforehand, but it was because I had no idea what this was or what was going on.
What to ask?
Even when they said you have a tumor, we think in your brain, and then they had the MRI saying, yeah, that's what that is. It's a benign tumor. Even then, I was like, let's just fix that. I didn't even think about it, and then I started doing research on it and really diving in. Maybe it was avoidance. I don't know. But that's, really being in tune with my body. Now, here's the thing about these adenomas, the pituitary adenoma, is also that, they don't grow overnight, right? They grow slowly over years. It doesn't pop up. So there's a chance that I had been gradually losing pieces of myself over years and not even realizing it. This particular tumor that I have secretes a hormone, and I had like 800 times the level that a normal human should, that causes anxiety, depression, and irritability, as well as some other things. It affects testosterone and things like that. And so, who knows? Who knows?
You're a sweetheart inside once we get this thing out of your nose? Is that
you hear me in the newsroom yelling, I'm not like that bad. Maybe all those times I yelled at my teenage daughter for being a teenager, I don't know. Was that me? Yes, it was me, but was it really the best version, the same version of me? So, and there's a crazy thing that a lot of patients, apparently, I've read a lot of testimonials, that they feel different even the day or days after this particular surgery, that like a fog lifts. And now perhaps the first time in a long time, I get the chance to meet my old self again.
Couple things. I know we're almost out
Sure.
of time, and I've heard you on with numerous shows today, and I cannot tell you how much I appreciate your willingness to share this, because it will help people. The point that
I hope so.
Not only are you your strongest, your own advocacy for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has the right and the duty to do that, but that you listened to your body. Far too often, people put off going to a doctor, addressing a symptom that they feel, like you said, Greg, for the longest of times. Oftentimes, it's because of financial considerations.
Yep.
But, it doesn't matter if it's money. It's just money, and your health never comes back if you ignore it and you let things get out of hand. I want to make sure. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
And let that be the message to everybody. Listen to your body. Be your strongest advocate.
All those
yourself.
other things in life will still be there. Don't worry.
Yes, they will.
But if you don't take care of your health and concentrate on you, on me, then, you may not be around. You just listen to yourself. Don't ask. Tell your
and we're
doctors.
pulling for you, Ducey. Hope the surgery goes well. That it's a huge success.
I got one of the best neurosurgeons there is. So
Far too often in
good.
this business, people just disappear. And you're going to be gone for a few weeks as you recover from this surgery. And I wanted people to know, because oftentimes we don't address when someone just isn't there anymore.
Right, that's right.
You're a trusted and respected member of this news department, this team here at KIRO. You're going to be back.
I am.
And I cannot tell you how much we're rooting for you. And we can't wait till you get back, and best of luck with the surgery.
I can't wait to get back. Thank you very much. The support from the listeners have been fantastic, and the staff here, and this is a great company, folks. They've been taking care of me. Also, if you're interested, I'm going to document this and including photos in a diary along the way on mynorthwest.com. You want to see?
Then you can write off the surgery.
The surgery goes through the nose, by the way, into the brain.
Like in Total Recall?
Yes.
Here's the unfortunate part, though.
You want photos of that? I'll show you.
You can no longer say, it's not a tumor.
It's not. Thanks.
I almost put that sound by there. It's not a tumor.
All right, we got to go. When we come back, we'll tell you about the lawyers in your state may not have passed the bar, at least in the future. We'll be right back after these.
Tune in to Elevate Your Wealth. If you're 5 to 10 years from retirement, you do not have the time to deal with a market downturn.
With Mark Stimson and Casey Elkins.
It's important that you know what the rules are, because if you don't, you can make some tremendous decisions that could adversely affect you, and you may not be able to go back and fix them.
Tune in to Elevate Your Wealth, Saturdays at 11 a.m. right here on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Spike O'Neill here for Integrity Roofing and Construction, folks. It's summertime. That means it's the heat season around here. Is your home insulated properly? Integrity can let you know. Schedule a free examination, free roof assessment, a free video inspection. They'll come and take a look what you got. If you had a leak over the winter rainy season that you weren't even aware of, they can help you take care of that. They do repairs, they do replacements, they do full renovations. They can do it all, and they do it all so well. IntegrityRC.com is the website. Got hundreds of great reviews. One of them's mine. Trust me when I tell you, they treated my home with expert care, better than I ever did. IntegrityRC.com is the website. Give them a try.
Sleep Number's new collections are designed to adapt to the changing nature of your life and your sleep needs. Whether it's the personalized comfort of the Comfort Mode mattress, the targeted pressure relief of the Comfort Next mattress, or the Climate Collection that actively cools or warms to help you fall asleep and stay asleep.
And now, get early access to our biggest sale of the year. Save 25% on the new Comfort Next Luxe for a limited time. Only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Our founders believed that freedom wasn't just a word. It was a way of life. The freedom to move forward, the freedom to pursue what matters most, the freedom to live fully. But aging has a way of taking those freedoms away. That's why there's Longevity Medical Clinic. John Curley here. My best move was becoming a patient of Longevity Medical Clinic years ago, and second best move, getting my wife Nicole to join me this year. Stop guessing and start working with a doctor who knows your goals and get personalized care designed around you, not the average patient. Discover what's holding you back and what can help you thrive with longevity. Aging is natural, but some of the effects are undesirable, and you don't want to have to just accept it. So this year, as we celebrate 250 years of freedom, ask yourself a simple question. Are you living with the freedom you deserve? Get real answers about your health and get your free health analysis at Longevity Medical Clinic. Find out more at lmclinic.com.
Guys, if your energy is down, your workouts feel harder, and your drive isn't what it used to be, it may not be aging. It could be low testosterone. At Revive Health here in Seattle, the first step is simple: a free testosterone exam and consultation with an experienced medical provider. We'll review your labs, symptoms, and overall health to determine if testosterone therapy could help improve your energy, strength, and performance. And for a limited time, qualified patients can get started with a free month of TRT. Revive has helped over 120,000 men since 2011 improve energy, sleep, mood, and confidence. If something feels off, don't ignore it. Get answers and take control of your health. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivehealth.com. Revive Health. Elevate your vibe. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact Revive for full details.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
The Black Crowes, live in the Tulalip Amphitheater, Sunday, August 30th. Tickets are on sale now. Details at TulalipCasino.com.
Summertime means sunshine, baseball games, beach trips, hiking, and more. So don't let your bank stop you from having fun. Free checking at WaFd Bank is the way to go. There are no minimum balances or monthly maintenance fees to worry about. Plus, you'll get spending tools and the latest technology to help you stay on budget. Not only is WaFd Bank rated a best bank, we have more than 200 branches to serve you across 9 western states, so you have access wherever you are. Visit wafdbank.com to open your account. Additional fees may apply. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to the Jake and Spike Show. If you'd like us to pass along sentiments to Luke Ducey, just text the show, 888-973-5476. A lot of you wishing him well and expressing your appreciation for him sharing his story. And we'll pass those along to Luke. Also, the question of the day today. Should we ban cell phones in schools for kids? These are your kids we're talking about. You know best. You're the parent. What if the state told you they're going to ban cell phones? There's a story we're going to share at the 1 o'clock rundown. That is a study by 4 major educational universities, 4,600 schools, and they found little to no impact from banning cell phones for students. We're going to discuss it further. But now let's talk about your lawyer. Recently, we had a story that the Washington State bar exam had a technical difficulty that prohibited wannabe lawyers, I don't say wannabe lawyers. That doesn't frame it right. Law students who had completed law school and were about to do the bar exam, which is a requirement to become a lawyer. There was a technical difficulty that had to cancel the bar exam from the Washington State Supreme Court. This was last month. Technological failures, nobody's fault, none of the students' fault. The court has now decided that these law students are going to be given what's called a procedural diploma, and that's going to, diploma privilege is what's referred to in the legal field. They won't have to take the bar exam. They're going to be given their law licenses. They're going to be able to practice law.
And as you can imagine, there is a lot of controversy surrounding this decision. At least 4 of the 9 justices dissented from at least part of the waiver arrangement. But look, the bar exam is there in part as a safeguard for the public, right? So yes. Law school is much different. Passing law school is much different than passing the bar exam.
Otherwise, why bother taking a bar exam?
Measuring competency, yes. Right? Which seems like it might be crucial in the practice of law. And let's make no mistake, this was a big screw-up, a fiasco on the state's part. And so is this the best compromise? I would say no on its surface. It seems to me entirely reasonable for the state to admit its mistake, maybe potentially propose some type of travel reimbursement for the people that went to Yakima to take this exam, only to find out that they weren't able to take the exam, and say, look, you got to take it again in September. Sorry, it was a big screw up, but we can't have you practicing law without passing the bar exam.
These law students who will be given diploma privilege.
Diploma privilege. I never thought I'd hear that phrase.
Right. They will be able to practice law immediately. And there were pending job offers that were waiting for the passing of the bar.
Sure, yeah,
These students will be given the option, if they would like to pass the bar at no additional expense to them, they can do that in September.
It's an option, though.
It's an option, right. There's no...
They don't have to.
I took driver's ed, but I still got to take a driving test
to prove
I can operate a car.
Here's the sort of unequal application here where more of the controversy comes from, and that is if you have failed the bar exam in the past... You have to take the makeup one in September.
Right. You don't get the mulligan.
But how many people would have failed this one had they not been met with the technical difficulties? Surely there are some that are going to be practicing law out there that were not going to have passed the exam.
Well, here's the difficulty, and I'm with you. I think if you can't pass the bar exam, you shouldn't be a lawyer, and you shouldn't be a lawyer until you can prove you can pass the bar exam. But what if someone is working for a law firm? They've got a job, it's waiting, and they can't get a bar exam until September. They can't have a livelihood till then. So let's say they do go to work.
It's a month.
Well, because my initial thought for this was, well, give them the diploma privilege, but make them come back and take the bar. What happens if you're working for a firm, you're working on a case because you've got a diploma privilege, but then you fail the bar? Everything you've done for that case and organization will come into question.
Or they might have to throw out the case or whatever because this person was not qualified to practice law.
There's no good solution to this.
It just sucks.
It sucks.
But this doesn't seem like the appropriate remedy to me.
And that's why lawyers can take the bar in September voluntarily. Because I tell you what, attorneys in this state who didn't pass the bar, if they never go back and take it, if they win a case against me, I'm suing. Because you never passed the bar. And it would behoove all of these attorneys to go back in September or whenever it is.
And you don't need to retake the bar exam traditionally, right? If you pass it, you don't have to keep it fresh.
It's not a renewal.
So
thing.
Is this privilege
for
exist
life
perpetually?
Ask your attorney. One of the questions you ask is, hey, by the way, did you? Are you gonna?
I can see the commercial now on TV.
Hi.
In your case, was there an attorney practicing with diploma privilege?
Call us. We'll sue. Coming up, the 1 o'clock rundown, the biggest stories coast to coast. We'll make sure you're up to speed on all of it. It's the Jake and Spike Show with Greg Tom. We'll be right back.
Jane is a small business owner. Tell them what that's like, Jane.
Yeah, well, it's like a roller coaster with a lot of ups and downs, and some days things can feel like they're flying off the rails.
Yep, it's a lot. But the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business can help you manage it all. With the largest, fastest fiber-powered network designed for 100% reliability with business internet and wireless connect.
Nice. So everything stays on track.
The Total Solutions Advantage. No one does business like Comcast Business.
The more solutions you add, the more you save. Get started today with a qualifying internet package for as low as $60 a month when you add an advanced solution. Plus, new customers, ask how to get up to $1,500 in prepaid cards when you add 2 lines of mobile to a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year agreement, paperless billing, and automatic payments with bank account required. $60 offer requires 300 meg internet, security edge, and additional qualifying service. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Prepaid card offers end 9/13/2026.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those words weren't written for history books. They were written for you. But it's hard to pursue happiness when aging is part of everyday life. John Curley here. Longevity Medical Clinic was created to help people with overall wellness and longevity, including diabetes management, heart health, weight management, inflammation reduction, nutrition, cognitive health, hormone therapy, and more. I can tell you from personal experience, being a patient for 17 years, I have a richer, fuller life, and I'm better able to pursue my own happiness. As America celebrates 250 years of independence, give yourself the chance to reclaim yours. Independence from aging. Take control of your health before small issues become big problems. Experience a smarter, proactive approach to aging, backed by decades of experience with longevity. Do what I did and feel like yourself again. Get your free health analysis at Longevity Medical Clinic. Find out how at lmclinic.com.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, today through Sunday. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, today through Sunday. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Deep discounts. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Today, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission. Free delivery. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
A riddle brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What do your home and auto have in common? Progressive protects them both. It was an easy riddle. Learn more at progressive.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. Analysts were expecting a net gain of 83,000 jobs last month. Instead, the Labor Department reports 23,000 jobs went away last month. Totals for June and May were revised downward. KPMG Chief Economist, Managing Director Diane Swank.
This doesn't take a rate hike off the table in the month of September, but it makes it much more fraught with risks now to the labor market if inflation remains persistent.
The Department of Homeland Security says while it promised to equip each enforcement team with an officer wearing a body camera, it says it will only release footage when it is in the best interest of the agency. Weather is affecting air travel today with over 1,100 flight cancellations, says FlightAware. Todd Blanche has just enough support to become the next Attorney General with an announcement by Louisiana Republican Senator Bill Cassidy that he will vote for Blanche. This is ABC News. Sweet Greens lowered its outlook for the year, blaming the outbreak of that parasitic stomach bug. The company does not serve iceberg lettuce and has not been connected to the outbreak. Still, the chain says there's less consumer demand for fresh, prepared foods. ABC News medical contributor Dr. Alok Patel.
Cases do seem to be going down. It partially could be from consumer behavior, but hand washing is not really going to stop the parasitic infection. Washing your produce only goes so far as well because it's stubborn, it's sticky, and it hangs on to foods. But it likely might be from just cutting off the supply.
A New Mexico court has ordered Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, to pay $567 million to address children's mental health.
In view of the fact that they knew about these harms, that they were not forthcoming about the danger, they were not honest with parents and policymakers and families, not only in this state but around the world.
New Mexico Attorney General Raul Torres. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
An update on our breaking news from inside the Bonnie Lake Multi-Care Emergency Department this hour. More on that coming right up. But first, a KIRO check on your KIRO News Radio traffic. Brought to you by your Seattle Mariners. South 5 into Seattle, heavy from Northgate into downtown. Linwood to Seattle, already a 45-minute drive. About a 15-minute delay here. North 5, we've got scattered backups between the Michigan Curve and Ship Canal Bridge. 25 minutes to clear all this. In Fife, North 5, we're bumper to bumper from 54th up to the truck scales. As far as I can tell, this is just volume. South 405 jam-packed from Southeast 8th and Bellevue to Northeast 44th near the VMAC, where road work is underway. Bellevue to Renton's at 35 minutes. And Tacoma to Olympia, a solid hour trip this afternoon with 16 miles of backups between JBLM and downtown Olympia. Don't miss the biggest event of the year at T-Mobile Park, 50 Season Celebration Night tomorrow night, presented by Daktronics. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
And good afternoon, I'm Nate Connors. An armed standoff at a Bonnie Lake emergency room ends with a man in custody. Police say a man with a gun triggered the lockdown at the Multi-Care Emergency Department just after 9 this morning. Pierce County Sheriff's Deputy Carly Capetto.
He was the only subject in the emergency room at the time. However, they still had to evacuate staff and patients.
Bonnie Lake police say the man was taken into custody after injuring himself just before noon. He's now being treated. No one else was hurt. The ER remains closed. We're hearing from the neighbor who helped stop a suspected arsonist after a Port Orchard garage was set on fire. KIRO 7 TV's Jason Sloss reports.
Dan Carlson lives across the street, says he and his wife were in the hot tub when they spotted the golf cart and then flames.
And I went up to the door, rang the doorbell a couple of times, beat on the door.
Carlson says his wife called 911 and he confronted the guy with the blowtorch.
I asked him, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Well, everything's okay. I'm with the fire department." I looked at him and said, no, what the hell, what's going on? And that's when he took after me with a golf cart and tried to run me down.
That suspect is now facing multiple felony charges. Seattle police arrested a 28-year-old man after a chaotic chain of events that began when officers found him running shirtless through heavy traffic in South Seattle Tuesday morning. Police say he escaped from an ambulance on the way to a hospital, stole a woman's car, crashed near MLK Way South, then ran from officers. He was taken into custody and booked into the King County Jail on multiple charges. Seattle's Amanda Knox is facing backlash over a new stand-up comedy routine. The show, called Cartwheel, debuts at an arts festival in Scotland today. The title references rumors that Knox did cartwheels after her roommate was murdered. The victim's family is slamming the performance, but Knox told Sky News she's being judged unfairly compared to other wrongfully convicted people.
I can't speak to what is or is not triggering to Meredith's family. What I can say is that I've never seen the kind of scrutiny and criticism pointed towards a wrongly accused man that I've seen pointed towards me.
Knox was wrongfully convicted of the crime in Italy and spent 4 years in prison before her acquittal. And now your KIRO News Radio weather. A little hazy this afternoon. Overall mostly sunny with a high near 86. Morning clouds, afternoon sun into next week with our weekend highs hovering around 80. Mostly sunny and 74 in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio. With your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the Jake and Spike Show. It's time for our 1 o'clock rundown. Let you know what the biggest stories are coast to coast, so you're not missing out on anything in this fast-moving world. By the way, this is also related to our question of the day. Our first story is cell phone bans in schools seem to have no positive effect on students. This is according to a study done by 4 different major research facilities, one of which is Stanford, all reputable. They surveyed 4,600 schools across all 50 states. Lori, you said there was the number you just told me about?
Yeah, so they basically took a sample of schools, about 1,500, that are using these Yonder pouches, which I think they have at Climate Pledge Arena. You basically lock your phone into a little pouch, and it's placed in a spot that you would have to physically go.
Right, turn it in for the day. And
your phone's on
timeout.
Yeah. In a little lockbox, basically. Compared to, they compared the test score data from those schools that were using the Yonder pouches, that 1,500 about sample, to general test scores for around 50,000 schools nationwide that aren't using these pouches, that don't have restrictions on student cell phone usage.
Well, and let's be precise on what we're talking about here, because I think it would be unfair to say that there is, from this study, no discernible benefits from smartphone bans. And yes, you both know me. I've been an advocate for smartphone bans in schools for years now, so this study definitely piqued my interest. But what everybody is noting right at the outset here is that there's no positive effect on test scores. But I would argue that a desire to see higher student test scores was not and is not the main motivation for student cell phone bans during the school day. It's related, but I don't think it's the main driver here. Right. There's a lot of other issues at stake, and it's multifaceted. For example, just for some historical context here, and I think this is important in light of this conversation, the CDC data shows that among high school girls reporting persistent sadness or hopelessness, in the year 2011, it was 35% of high school girls. In 2021, it was 57%. For boys, it went from 21% to 29%. Is there a causation correlation disagreement on a lot of this? Absolutely. The debate continues, but people like social scientist Jonathan Haidt make a very cogent and persuasive argument that smartphones are directly responsible for a lot of this decline in mental health and well-being of students. I mean, we see self-harm and suicide is way up amongst teens. Phones have displaced other things that kids need, like fostering embodied experiences of human connection, learning how to overcome boredom with the smartphone pacifier, cultivating face-to-face relationships. So I think there's a lot of other reasons to still be in favor of smartphone bans that are not related to, how did they do with test scores when the phones were taken out of the academic areas?
Absolutely true. I couldn't agree with you more. You just about summed up every feeling I have toward this. No, seriously. I mean, this seems so blatantly obvious to anybody who's got a kid who's dealing with a cell phone intrusion into their kid's life and their development. You know, one of the researchers in the study said, look, this is also a very short window for us to look at test scores. The only measure we have, because the other things that we're talking about are hard to quantify. We can tell you that test scores had very little improvement at all. Attendance had very little impact at all. There was a 60% increase in suspensions in the first year, but that's because kids not wanting to comply with a rule they don't like.
Think about when you take away someone's drug.
No, I
the immediate effect is not positive. You go on a rampage. You freak out.
Yeah, and once the kids got used to the policy, that number went down drastically in the second year of the study. But to your point, school is so much more than test scores, and that's one of the things we're always seems to be overlooking, because your success rate is rated on your test results, and your grades are rated on your test results. Your acceptance to colleges or whatever, rated on your test results and your grades. But school is about so much more. When schools were closed down due to COVID, one of the most impactful results of that was the lack of socialization for our students. You talked about kids not wanting to make eye contact, kids not knowing how to engage people. You made a great point about kids not knowing how to fight boredom, how to maintain focus. All these things are it can't be measured by test results.
Right.
So, you know, if you have an opinion on whether or not schools should ban cell phones, we'd love to hear from you. We're going to have this as our question of the day. Should schools ban test phones? Chris Rakedahl, the superintendent of education for Washington, and Governor Ferguson are proposing in next year's legislative session that a statewide ban on K through 12 students having phones in schools is going to be a priority for the legislative session. If it is passed, it'll begin the 27-28 school year. So they're serious about it in Washington. There's currently a patchwork of these policies across different schools, school districts, and across different states. It's impossible to argue that cell phones, while they may not over a 2-year period impact grade results, test scores, the fact that the teachers in this study said, we love that these kids aren't using their phones in class. They're more engaged. They're developing these other skills that you mentioned.
And let's be clear, I'm not trying to undermine the results of the study. I think it's important. I'm glad it's come out. There should only be more of these related to this topic. But I do think it's rather narrowly focused. It doesn't necessarily include a long-term analysis. And here's one of the most illuminating facts from the study that does support advocacy for cell phone bans in school. And that is, you mentioned this briefly, year one after bans took effect, students' well-being declined after schools introduced locked phone policies and pouches. Later years, that negative effect disappeared and actually reversed. So by year 3, and some of this is subjective, of course, but students' well-being was higher than before the phone restriction was implemented. So it just takes time. So that's why
absolutely.
We need more longer-term studies here. And great, let's have more of them and let the discussion continue.
I mean, I heard G and Ursula discuss this topic this morning, and G made a great point about curriculum, how it doesn't prepare students for the modern world. There's an antiquated perspective on curriculum with schools, and change is slow, especially when you talk about institutional change across a part of our culture and our governance that affects just about every family in America, whether it's a private or a public school. Curriculum is something that needs to be addressed and modernized. I get all that, and sometimes you can argue that technology has an important role to play in updating and modernizing curriculum because the kids are going to be living in a technical world. But they're still going to need social skills. They're still going to need problem-solving skills that you can't get from a cell phone, or the ability to learn patience. I mean, you called it this drug in our hand, this immediate, it's a little dopamine hit every time somebody agrees with us or disagrees with us or gets us mad, and the algorithms and all these different things that come into play.
There's an insatiable urge on the part of parents of my generation to have a reflex of, oh, my kid is bored. That's a bad thing. How do I solve the boredom? And 99 times out of 100, the remedy is put the glowing rectangle or the pacifier in their hand so they are no longer bored. And what I want to stress is that there should be a negative association with that action, because boredom is one of the best things you can have your kids experience, because then it forces them to be creative. It forces them to be uncomfortable, which is a good thing, because then they learn self-resilience and overcoming the boredom. And some of the most proudest moments we've had as parents is seeing our kids throw a tantrum for being bored for 5 to 10 minutes, and then looking what comes of that an hour later. And we go, oh, wait, they're talking to each other. They've made up this fun game to play, or they've used their imagination to go build a fort. And yes, it hurts. I get it. But the pain is like something you need to lean into and go, no, you're going to feel pain in life. Now try to overcome. I'm not going to give you the solution. Work it out. Work it out.
It's not even so much if the technology makes it easier on the kid. It makes it easier for the parent.
Absolutely.
We all know that. We can all, if we're honest with ourselves.
In the short term, it makes it more difficult in the long term.
It's a short term.
Yes.
And it's a fast solution. You got kids in a plane, and and the parents are trying to manage the kids.
We allow that on a plane.
Well, sure, yeah, because you're impacting other people around you.
Yes.
But if you're just in a car with the kids,
right?
If they're monsters and it's distracting you driving, okay, pull over. We're just skipping parenting steps with technology.
Spike, you know how many times we've told our 9-year-old who always complains, I want to play my Nintendo, I want your phone, when they're in the backseat of the car. We look back and we say, I hate that these words are coming out of my mouth now and that I'm admitting it on the radio. Back in my day,
right? No.
We would have to look out the window and stare for hours on end. And that's like an important human skill, just to be able to sit there and go, wow, I'm extremely bored. That's actually a net positive for you in the long run. Because how many times have you sat through a graduation ceremony and you just have to sit there for 2.5 hours? Yeah, you got to learn how to do crap like that, and it sucks, but it's part of being human. Yes, and so I get it. And parents have to have a higher threshold of feeling the complaints and the pain from their kids, and go, yeah, I'm going to endure the 8 to 10 minutes of I hate this, I hate you, I want my screen, because in the longer term, extend that out over years, it's going to help them be better humans.
Absolutely.
And if you give them the immediate pacifier, you're going to raise an individual you don't want to be around as an adult.
Nobody wants to be around as an adult. You're hurting society.
An entitled brat that is just not social and is constantly staring at a screen in their 20s. That is not a person that's fun to be around.
Speaking of hurting society long-term through technology, I'll go to our next story. Meta, which of course is Facebook and Instagram, a New Mexico court has ordered Meta to pay $567 million and what they're doing is they're going to have to pay this penalty to establish a $420 million fund used for the treatment services for young people. The rest of that money will go toward screening services and prevention services over the next 5 years because of Meta's impact on young people and technology that they provide. This is the second case against Meta. Back in March, they were a $375 million penalty was awarded against Meta. And this was for because knowingly harmed children's mental health and concealed what they knew about sexual exploitation on its platforms. It's been proven in court, started in California. New Mexico now has gotten involved, or they've won their case. Meta's algorithms that they use to engage with young users and to entrap and ensnare young users to an addictive level. Their internal memoranda that were revealed in this court through disclosure, they use the same practices that casinos use in designing the algorithms of slot machines to keep you engaged and keep you with just enough reward, keep you hooked, keep you coming back. And the systems that Meta put in place to help protect youth didn't come close to addressing the problem. And now a second court has slapped Meta with a $500 million penalty. And they've got to use that money to help solve the problem that this court deemed they were creating.
Do you think it's an apt comparison to say these big tech companies in the modern age are akin to the cigarette and tobacco industry in the 80s and 90s?
They knew how dangerous their product was. They purposely concealed that from their customers. It's an absolute parallel.
Meta said it plans to appeal the decision, but the court also ordered them to strengthen child safety measures, including better age verification, which I think is high time that they started doing that and thinking creatively in that regard. But this is a big deal because it's one of the biggest legal defeats that Meta has ever had in regards to this issue with
and all these
youth
platforms,
safety.
All these platforms are guilty of, and it's about money, it's about eyeballs, it's about engagement.
It's about addicting people for life and getting started early.
And not caring who your customer is, how old they are, or how dangerous addiction to your product is.
And considering the human toll here, that it is harder and harder to ignore because the studies are in, the data is in.
And consumers and families and parents are getting their days in court, and they're getting the wins from the court, from the legal system, which is, I think, great news. And Meta took a hit today. Yeah.
Is it a slap on the wrist for how much they're worth?
Well, $500 million is not nothing because that money is going directly to investing in treatment for the problems that they've caused. The real question is, will they be forced to alter their business practices moving forward? Because the systems, the intrusion of social media into our lives is only getting worse as the days go on. You can't let them just get a $500 million slap on the wrist, put a few programs in place to help clean up the mess they've made. You got to have them stop making mess. It's not, if an oil tanker keeps leaking, it's not just cleaning up the oil, it's stopping the leak. It's stopping the problem from getting worse moving forward. I hope Meta and all social media platforms have to alter how they do business with regard to public safety, and especially of our kids.
Here's a question for you, and I'm curious about Laura's perspective on this as well, because we all come from different generations here. We have three very distinct generations represented, and how we interact with modern technology fascinates me because I think there is a generation gap and how we wield it, how we utilize it on a daily basis.
I'm going to check my phone while you're talking, excuse me, to illustrate your
compared today to 5 years ago for you, Spike and Laura, do you find that you use the internet and social media specifically much differently than you did 5 years ago? And is some of that based upon what we now know about what it does to us psychologically? Or has it been, you've always wielded it exactly the same? Start with you, Laura.
Well, 5 years ago is an interesting time because...
Yeah, that might not be the best metric.
Well, no.
5 years ago
10 years ago, I used it very differently than I do now. But I do think 5 years ago, there was a turning point for me, and it was COVID. And I would imagine that was a turning point for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I became a lot more dependent on playing TikTok in the background, even just walking around the house. And I still do this. I'm like constantly scrolling, even as I'm doing other things. I keep it as background noise a lot of the time. And that's sort of depressing to say out loud, but that was a habit that started during COVID when there was little else to do and it was a way to connect with people.
And you're longing for human connection, and this seems the closest to it that you can get.
Depressing.
We talked about the lack of socialization because of the COVID shutdown. Socialization was replaced with social media.
And I think I still have some bad habits that are left over from that time.
My use has gone nothing but worse.
Worse, really? Yours has increased.
Well, because I started out with zero. So when I was raised in an era where social media was very peripheral.
But is it more posting or viewing?
It's very passive. It's more viewing.
Right.
It's more viewing.
The scrolling.
Yeah, I call myself a lurker.
You're a lurker.
I never post anything, but I want to see what everyone else is up to.
I almost never post now. And when I do, it's usually something to do with radio or my band.
Job related. Yeah.
It's advertising my band and trying to market my band. But I used to post pictures of my kids or we're out and about. We had a vacation this summer, and my wife had a serious conversation. Do we post one of our vacation photos? And we were like, no. What is the ultimate end purpose of posting a vacation photo on one of these websites other than saying, you're not here?
Right.
And we are.
Yeah,
and if we have family members we want to send it to, we did. But in terms of like our 800 closest friends, they didn't need to know we were having a good time on vacation. And so we've had those conversations more and more lately. is it appropriate to post this? And what would be my motivation for it other than saying, look at me, aren't I having a great time and making other people feel small?
I do like to see you have fun, though. I like it when you're having a good
but then
time.
I'll text you, Spike. I got your number.
But you can't text the 800 people who also want to see you having a good time.
I don't know if they really want to see that, all 800.
I do. I watch people out there having fun in the world. I've got friends who are traveling abroad, and I see pictures from Spain or from Ireland or wherever they are.
They always make me feel worse.
I'm good for them. Have a good time.
But maybe because we're lurkers is why we don't want to post, because we see how we lurk on other people on social media, and then we're like, I don't want other people looking at me.
We got time for. Do we have time for one more? Our third story of the day. Tell you what, let's tease it and get back to it. Maybe Trump administration has announced that they refunded $100 billion in the money collected for tariffs, and they've refunded that to the corporations that charged you when you were buying stuff. It's been $100 billion in refunds to corporations from Apple to Costco to you name it, all the way down the line. Everybody who was paying tariffs to import items. $100 billion was generated. Most of that came and was passed on to retailers or to consumers through retailers. We're not getting any of that money.
Yeah, unless
consumers.
you are one of those importers that paid the tariffs directly.
Right,
very unlikely to receive any refunded money.
So the importers and the retailers got the money from us, and now they're getting the money back from the government. They're double dipping, and we're the ones.
Little double
you,
dip?
me, and Laura are the ones who paid the tariffs out of our own
I'm
pocket.
sure a lot of these companies, Spike, will do the right thing and cut their prices in half to give the consumer a break. No? Am I wrong?
You're a funny guy, Greg Dahlman. We'll have more on that story later today. I promise you that. Coming up, next, I should say, our question of the day response from you, the audience. Should cell phones be banned in schools? I'm sure you'll have a lot to say about that. If you want to jump in, still time. Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line 888-973-5476.
This hour is brought to you by Insulation Northwest.
Are you looking for the best deal on a new home? Discover the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. With new home communities from Lacey to Stanwood, ranging from the low 500s to the high 1 millions. D.R. Horton has the right home at the best value for you. Your new home is within reach, so what are you waiting for? Learn more about the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. Visit drhorton.com and schedule a tour today. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Moving into Aegis was one of the best decisions I ever made because I became connected with lots of friends.
This is my friend Susie, and we haven't known each other very long. We just kind of clicked.
She found this wonderful place, and so that I moved in. One thing we both like, we watch football games. I'm a tight end girl myself.
Aegis Living has been trusted for nearly 30 years to deliver award-winning care in luxury senior living. Visit aegisliving.com/KIRO and see for yourself.
This is it. These are the nights. The ones where you laugh until you can't anymore. And smile until your head hits the pillow. Where everything feels just right. Because it is. Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Must be 21 and over. Please gamble responsibly.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, today through Sunday. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa this weekend only, today through Sunday. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates this weekend only. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Deep discounts. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Today, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission. Free delivery. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
Hey, I know something you probably haven't done in a while. Climb into your crawl space or your attic. Yeah, me neither. Mike Salk here. And most homeowners avoid those areas for good reason, but it's important to check on them regularly, especially here in the Northwest where groundwater can wreak havoc and many homes lack the proper insulation in these spaces. So when it's hot in the summer, your house gets even hotter. And guess what? When it's cold in the winter, your house gets even colder because you don't have enough insulation. The good news, you don't have to crawl into those dingy areas because Crawl Pros will do it. They go where you don't want to. That's what they did at my house. They found a little rodent intrusion and they found the insulation problems. So yeah, they can help you get it all fixed just like they did with me. And if you need any work done, local utility companies offer rebates that could save you thousands on your project. Don't just assume that your crawl space and attic are in great condition. Do what I did. Call Crawl Pros today. Schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
Guys, if your energy is down, your workouts feel harder, and your drive isn't what it used to be, it may not be aging. It could be low testosterone. At Revive Health here in Seattle, the first step is simple: a free testosterone exam and consultation with an experienced medical provider. We'll review your labs, symptoms, and overall health to determine if testosterone therapy could help improve your energy, strength, and performance. And for a limited time, qualified patients can get started with a free month of TRT. Revive has helped over 120,000 men since 2011 improve energy, sleep, mood, and confidence. If something feels off, don't ignore it. Get answers and take control of your health. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivehealth.com. Revive Health. Elevate your vibe. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact Revive for full details.
Big Trees is Washington's premier tree sales and transplant company. Looking for a big selection of big trees? Visit Big Trees in Snohomish or BigTreeSupply.com.
Beauty, privacy, instantly.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. Fire crews once again bracing for high winds in central and eastern Washington, where a red flag warning is in effect today and tomorrow. KIRO 7 meteorologist Nick Allard says wind speeds or gusts up to 30 to 40 miles per hour in some spots.
This is unfortunately not good timing. I mean, it never is when it's this hot and this dry and you already have fires going, but man, it's going to be tricky with red flag warning conditions. You know, we're not going to see lightning to cause a new fire, but there might be new starts based on the wind pushing stuff from existing fires. So I am worried about the red flag warning. Not a weekend to, say, try to go camping.
Thousands of people are still evacuated due to these Spokane wildfires, and they may have to wait weeks to get back home. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey explains.
Responding to rising frustration from many of the 65,000 people told last week, get out now as flames spread through their neighborhoods. Sheriff John Knowles late yesterday said,
the decision for us to let the public into those areas will be when we are confident that there is no risk to their life immediately or into the future.
Firefighters are battling smaller fires that keep popping up in those neighborhoods, wearing full breathing apparatuses to protect from toxic smoke from burning homes and cars. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Turning now to the closing bell report, and another winning day on Wall Street as stocks booked their best week since April. Dow up 151 today. S&P climbed 48 points, closing at a new record high, and the Nasdaq up 342 points. All of the gains coming as the Labor Department says the U.S. economy lost 23,000 jobs in July. KPMG Chief Economist Diane Swonk says the latest numbers make the Federal Reserve's job more complicated.
This doesn't take a rate hike off the table in the month of September, but it makes it much more fraught with risks now to the labor market if inflation remains persistent.
Delta Airlines is expanding its international service from Seattle. The airline announcing a new daily nonstop route between SeaTac Airport and Tokyo Narita beginning in March. Delta says it will continue its daily Tokyo Haneda service, offering 2 separate nonstop routes from Seattle to Japan's capital. Now to the real-time traffic desk. Here's Nate Connors.
All right, Aaron, we're already seeing big backups between Olympia and Tacoma this afternoon in both directions of I-5. Tacoma to Olympia, an hour, 5-minute commute. You're looking at 16 miles of backups between JBLM and Olympia. And then going the other way, Olympia to Tacoma at 45 minutes. Not bad, but we do have scattered backups between Lacey and Nisqually. If you're heading out toward Gig Harbor, westbound 16 jams up mid-span on the Tacoma Narrows Bridge up to Walacha Drive. Over to South Hill, eastbound 516 just past 31st, got a collision partially blocking the left lane, enough so that it is packed heading into that South Hill curve. South 5 into Seattle, packed from Northgate into downtown. 45 minutes from Linwood to Seattle, about a 10-minute delay here. North 5, scattered backups from the Michigan curve to the Ship Canal Bridge, and Bellevue to South Center on 405 is up to 40 minutes, and we're jammed up from mid-Bellevue all the way to Northeast 44th. That is a 6-mile backup. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Improving air quality today along with sunshine. It'll still be hot today with the heat advisory in effect. Cooler this weekend with much better air quality. Right now, looking at 79 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Back to the Jake and Spike Show. Greg Tomlin filling in for Jake Skorheim this week, and we should just take a moment to thank everybody who texted the show. 888-973-5476. Not just for the answer to the question of the day: should we ban cell phones in schools? Those of you who let us know that we had a hot microphone during the commercial break. Hot mic situation here, and for those of you who missed it, in the studio we have 2 televisions. We have opposing viewpoints oftentimes with different news coverage of the same stories. But when we watch local coverage in town, there's a certain point of the show where local coverage news ends and daytime television takes its place. And oftentimes that's your daytime dramas, your soaps,
yeah.
Which we don't get a chance to see. Most people don't watch those on a regular basis. I know they're popular. But there were comments made in the studio about what's going on in daytime television. And it's gotten a little racier than I remember from my youth. This isn't General Hospital anymore. This is the young, and none of these people are restless.
Well, look, I've had the privilege of sitting in with you and Laura Spike pretty much all week. And yes, there is a time during the day where the channel here stays on a certain station and goes to daytime soaps. And what I was quipping or noting during the commercial break with a hot mic was something along the lines of, there's a lot of people getting it on the daytime. So there is a lot of action. I mean,
network television.
If most of the human population lived their lives like the daytime soaps, there would be no demographic decline. Okay. I mean, and so I made a few comments to that effect while the commercial was playing. Nothing that is disqualifying, I hope, for my future viability in radio.
Honest and authentic. And I would like to say thank you, because had it been my microphone on, it probably would have been a career ender. And had it not been daytime dramas, had it been the news, and my mic was on, and Todd Blanche gets a sale through Senate confirmation, I may have said a few things that may have ended my career. So thank you.
Well, what's interesting is that you and I have shared decades of being on the radio, or, me in a producer capacity for many years as well. Some of the most entertaining, provocative, and compelling things said in this space are said off the air.
Yes. when we go authentic, we keep it 100.
Maybe this was one of those cases.
It's one of those cases. I'm just glad that woman kept her sheet on in that scene. Otherwise, it could have been worse for all of us. To your question of the day, should cell phones be banned in schools? We mentioned a study earlier with nearly 5,000 schools, coast to coast, all 50 states, looked at test score results, attendance factors, and discipline factors after 3 years of students having schools ban their cell phones during the school day. And we asked you, what do you think?
George in Poulsbo writes, yes, ban cell phones during the school day. And Matt in Seattle adds, it would seem the question is not whether the school test scores improve in relation to other schools, but whether the test results improve year over year. And to agree with Greg, I don't think test scores are the best gauge of success here.
Cliff in Woodinville, yes, ban cell phones in schools. Was too short of a survey. It'll take longer than that to undo the damage that's already been done to test scores as well as behavior and other tangible benefits.
And the 425 writes, if school is to prepare kids for jobs and other life issues, they should learn there is a time and a place for those phones. Work and schools are an example of those times and places.
Great point. Great point. Destiny in Seattle says banning cell phones may not improve student grades, but would greatly improve the quality of teaching. Competing with cell phones in the classroom for students' attention has got to be frustrating. And I'm sure every teacher would back that up.
Yes, agree. And John in the 573 writes, since there's a fair amount of parents who want their kids to have their phones in school in case of emergency, is there not a way to block apps and data? There is, but it's like playing whack-a-mole. And kids get really creative, and high school students are very, very smart with overcoming certain like digital limitations that are placed on them. They'll find a way around it.
When I need to take something off my kid's phone, I need my kid to do it.
Yeah, right? No, exactly. There's a generational gap in knowledge.
Plus,
about these things.
schools, social media and texting and videos and bullying and all these different elements that cell phone use and social media use bring into schools and bring into classrooms, bring into kids' lives. Can we not have one safe harbor for the study was done with 13 to 17-year-olds, developing minds, developing citizens, and to not have a cell phone or social media intrusion into that during just the school day. After school, do what your parents feels best. Parents, do what feels best for your kids. Summertime, but school is school.
I had mentioned that my 9-year-old, when riding in the backseat of our car, is always begging to play a screen of some type. Noel responds to that. Back in my day, when we did long-distance trips, I would read paperbacks and comic books to pass the time.
Well, you do something. You ever play Claim the Cow?
Oh, hook me up. What's that?
Okay, well, my wife and sister-in-law turned me onto this during a recent road trip. When you see a cow on the road, my cow, and you take a total of how many cows you claim as you drive through the countryside, my cow, and then there's ways.
What if there's a bunch of cows all together?
My cows.
You claim 12 of them?
You got them all 12, and you have to. And next, you're looking out for cows. Your kids are vested in this game.
Okay, so I like that idea, but we always default to I think it's called the name game. I don't know what, but so you say a famous person's name.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next person has to say a name that begins with the first letter of the last name.
Yeah, we've done that.
So I say Michael Jackson, you would say
Jackson Brown.
And if it's a double, then it reverses, right?
Right, okay.
Okay, so Laura, to you, Jackson Brown, what's the famous name you come up with that starts with a B?
That starts with a B? Beyonce.
Oh, well, see, I think she wins because it's only a
one name.
Oh, is that a game ender? Knowles?
Exactly.
Knowles. Beyonce Knowles. So you have to go K.
Kevin Hart. Anyways, that can last like a good 30 minutes with
Let's just finish out the rest of the show.
Yeah.
No. Doug at Mount Vernon says, try 30 seconds of dead air. See if listeners can deal with boredom. Nobody can deal with boredom. We're asking kids, to go back to an antiquated creativity, play a game, use your mind, read a book, draw a picture. I don't know if we can ever put that genie back inside the app.
Right.
The technology is here to stay, man.
Yeah.
Deb in the 206 says, when my son was young, we would travel by car. I would give them a clipboard, sheets of paper, and a pencil, and he would create comics. I saved one from each age to watch the progression. Incredibly fond memories. That's a really nice idea.
Great idea. From the 425, they don't need to ban cell phones in schools. Just make a law that 17 years and younger can only have flip phones, talk and text. That's it. No social media on the phone. I think that's probably going to be easier said than done on that one.
Yeah, good luck with there, too. Eileen in Issaquah says, okay, so as a high school teacher, it does make a difference for kids to not have their phones during the day. I've seen the effect firsthand in my classrooms. I don't know exactly what the study was, but think about it. It would affect adults' attention as well, not to mention the social media piece during the day. Yeah, we mentioned that this study of nearly 5,000 schools through all 50 states showed that students' test scores didn't dramatically improve because of a cell phone ban in classrooms. Attendance was pretty flat. There was some disciplinary increase of suspension, 60% in the first year, but that went down in the second year as the rules became the norm. But we've mentioned numerous times, and everyone in the text line seems to agree, there's so much else that kids get from school, from socialization skills to, stretching your imagination, all these things that cell phones intrude upon.
And after 3 years of a cell phone ban, students overall reported a slight uptick in overall well-being, which is of note.
Isn't that the whole point? Learn more, yes, but your overall well-being is so important. Coming up next, we're going to check the feeds. It's feeding time. See what's on our feeds. Greg's phone, my phone. We'll have that for you next. Don't go anywhere.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
Doug.
Hot dog! Get your hot dog! Customize and save with Liberty Mutual. Hey, what are you doing? I like your method. Direct. To the point. A little loud, but... Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs. Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
Hey, this is a hot dog area. And customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we know you're no stranger to setting big goals, whether in school, at work, or in life, and you're ready for more. At UMGC, we offer the skills-based education you need to move your career forward. Learn how to apply AI, data science, and other emerging tech, plus gain skills in leadership and critical thinking. You've come far. Succeed again. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. If your air conditioner is barely hanging on, CM Heating has one of the best offers I've heard this summer. Right now, you can get any size high-efficiency AC system for just $179.99 a month with zero upfront cost. And here's the game changer. CM Heating's Comfort as a Service program includes lifetime repairs, annual maintenance, and even filters at no additional charge ever. Go to cmheating.com and schedule your free estimate online today.
License number CMHEAHL 751LW.
Hey, it's John Curley with my friend Bob Stelton. And Bob, just like me, you had a hip problem. You were recommended surgery. Why did you go see Dr. Wagner first?
I was walking around at about an 8 pain level. I couldn't walk that far before the pain would kick in, and it was impacting my workouts and just really impacting my day-to-day stuff.
So you had stem cell on your hip. How does it feel now?
I can do a lot of things I could not do prior to this procedure, and I feel like I've gotten back to being who I was prior to the injuries, which was somebody who's very active, loves being out there outside when the weather's great, being on the motorcycle, sparring in jiu-jitsu, working out. I can do all of those things now. And I've had friends that have gone to see Dr. Wagner. They had the same experience, whether they were dealing with a hip, a knee, an elbow, a shoulder. Everybody walking out of there feels like, why didn't I do this sooner?
Before you choose surgery, do what Bob and I did. Go see Dr. Mark Wagner first. drmarkwagnermd.com. drmarkwagnermd.com.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repairs, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
At Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, we understand improving your home is an investment in your family, and we're here to help make it easier. With our flexible financing, keeping your family safe, comfortable, and dry has never been more affordable. For more than 20 years, Guardian has earned the trust of thousands of homeowners across the Pacific Northwest with a reputation for quality that lasts. So why wait? Start guarding your home today. Call or visit GuardianRoofing.com.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need, delivered when and where you need them. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it today at Cars4Kids.org. Your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call 1-877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today. That's Cars with a K.
Nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all. Sound like your home? Then call for your free inspection.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
Hi, welcome back, everybody. It's the Jake and Spike Show with Greg Tomlin and for Jake Skorheim. This is where we check our feeds. And I don't know about you, but my feed has been just crushed with Mariners' 50th anniversary.
Oh, okay.
Which is great because usually I get far too much division arguing because I linger. That's how algorithms work. That's part of the problem.
They go,
with
oh,
social
you
media.
like this?
Oh, you like being angry?
Oh.
Have we got a tape for you? You know, and all last week it was nothing but confirmation hearings and blah 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 blah.
Okay.
And Dr. Fauci, good Lord, I thought I had COVID again. I saw Dr. Fauci's face so much last week, but this week it's all been about the Mariners' celebratory weekend. Tonight's the home run derby. Former Mariner greats will take part in a home run derby.
Oh, yeah, I've seen one of those Griffey promo videos on my algorithm.
Ichiro is going to be swatting home run. They're playing home run derby at T-Mobile Park tonight. This is funny. A friend of mine, speaking of feeds, and I saw this on social media, so it's relevant. A good dear friend of mine, Downtown Joe, produced our radio show for 25 years. Diehard Mariner fan.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a shirt that he wears to the game that says a fan since, and it's 77 on his back. His kid's got a shirt that says fan since blah, 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 when she became him. And he made his kid a Mariner fan, like 02, I think it was. Joe said, look, this weekend, it's the home run derby on Friday. It's the 50th greatest Mariners of all time celebration tomorrow evening. And in fact, we'll have Sully on a little bit later today at 2:30, a half hour from now, we'll have Sully on to talk about some of your travel intrusions this weekend and what you need to do if you want to take part in both the Seahawk Fan Fest and the Mariners' 50th celebration. But Joe pointed out to me, look, they're selling nostalgia this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Ichiro tonight, the home run derby tonight, the 50 greatest Mariners of all time tomorrow night. Plenty of tickets available for both games. The Mariners have had a tough couple of weeks, tough second half so far.
Tough game yesterday.
Oh, one of the ugliest. 11-0 was the final yesterday. They won one game against the Twins. That was the game that there was a big melee, a little bit of a brawl.
It was on the cusp of being a melee.
A baseball brawl.
Yeah, there you go.
A lot of pushing and shoving, a lot of guys, hold me back.
A lot of pugilistic thinking going on.
And, and Dan Wilson got ejected in that game. It's like, maybe it's going to light a fire under and I heard Aaron say this yesterday, maybe it's going to light a fire under the Mariners. No fire, no smoke.
Next day,
no nothing. 11-0.
Okay, well, let me ask you a personal question, Spike, if you feel comfortable talking about it. And those watching on the live stream can see that you are wearing very proudly a Mariners jersey, but it is a historical jersey.
It is.
Do you feel at liberty to talk about what it says on the back and maybe even turn around so people on our YouTube channel here can see what it says?
Let me turn around.
Okay, there it is. All right. Instead of a number where the number should be on the back of your jersey, there's a big dollar sign stitched on very nicely, by the way. And above it, it says...
Payrod.
Payrod. So what era is this, and what message were you meaning to send at the time?
Are you kidding? I've got a very dear friend who works at Seattle Athletic Lettering, my good friend Jerry. He makes every jersey you see in the city, whether it's the Seahawks, the Mariners, the Kraken, Washington Huskies, Wazoo Cougars, you name it. He does it all. He makes every pro jersey in this town. He runs the shop at Lumen Field and at T-Mobile Park, where you can go in and get a custom Mariner jersey. Jerry's company's been doing this for decades and decades.
So he could make me a Jimothy jersey and have it be the greatest thing?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. So when Alex Rodriguez, and I think we may revisit this. This is part of my Friday favorites too. When Alex Rodriguez left the Mariners after the 2000 season and signed a $252 million 10-year contract with the Texas Rangers, he made his triumphant return to what was then Safeco Field. It was April 16th, 2001.
I think I was there.
Or 2000. Yeah, 2001.
Mm-hmm.
Upper decks raining down fake cash.
Yep, I was there.
Remember,
yep.
I had this jersey made for that night and wore it for that night. Wore it that night at the ballpark.
Okay, so I mistook the
35
jersey
years.
to mean that you were maybe at the time imploring the Mariners organization to pay Rod.
Pay Rod, no.
But you were giving him a new nickname.
We were rebranding him.
Well done.
Not J-Rod.
And now
what? Brief love with J-Lo.
Okay, I'm tracking now. You want to talk about what's in my feed?
Yeah, what's in your feed?
Well, I just checked during the commercial break, and it's been the same for quite some time now, but I am inundated with local food influencers that reveal hidden gems in the Seattle area of places you should go to eat. Now, sometimes I'm wondering, are they getting paid by some of these places to come and do free advertising, or are they authentically stumbling across these hidden gems? But it'll be people that, go to Kent or Snohomish or Bellevue and say, you got to try this restaurant, these new tacos. Yeah. And I think my fatal flaw is I'm always bookmarking these places because I'm like, I want to go there sometime.
Go there. Yeah, I've seen these type feeds. They're influencers, right? They're food critics.
I really think it's like 50-50 on whether or not they're paid sponsors, and I can never really tell.
Do you care? Do you care if they're getting because all I know
if the food looks good, it looks good.
Yeah, so right. If it looks good, and they're doing videos, right? I've seen these. They're doing real videos of secret little hideouts. I've seen these.
Yeah.
There's one person that I've comes into my feed from time to time. I should pay more attention to that because I don't scroll. I mean, I linger, but I don't get it enough. They got Asian fusion, a little Korean barbecue place that's a hole in the wall nobody knows about, but the food is incredible. Or tacos here, and I love that kind of stuff.
I think the way I've engaged more with social media lately and scrolling has been the algorithm has decided if I find something useful, I also get a lot of music stuff, a lot of people talking about cover bands and here's a great idea for your cover band, or here's what it's like to run a band, and here's some good advice.
The algorithm knows that you like that, so it feeds you more.
Yes, something that I can go, I can apply that to my life immediately, so it keeps feeding me that.
When we started this, Jake pointed out that his algorithm is a lot less hostile than mine. I started watching this one guy who plays music for animals. And then I got a couple of days of that, which was great. Then I started watching Angry Politicians again, and everyone's right back in the soup. All right, when we come back, it's our Friday favorites, our favorite stories of the week. Laura, Greg, and I will all pick our favorite. We'd love to hear from you. Is there something we covered this week that you'd like to hear more of or hear about again, maybe reintroduced to an audience that may not have heard the first time? The Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476. We'll be right back.
KIRO News Radio, where you hear the John Curley Show, 3 to 7.
Katie Wilson. People still blasting away at her. There's a great, crazy play called The Actor's Nightmare. And the play goes this way. The actor is standing backstage, and all of a sudden, the stage manager goes, "You're on." And he walks into the scene. He didn't show up at any rehearsals, and he's just there, center stage. And the nightmare is, I have no idea what my line is.
Watch live or later on the John Curley Show's YouTube channel.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Thinking about a new roof or exterior upgrade, but worried about the cost? This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. We've created our summertime savings event to make it simple and affordable. Save up to $3,000 off your exterior project or get 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest up to 24 months. And every qualifying GAF roof is backed by our lifetime Golden Pledge warranty. One call gets you started. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today. Held to a higher standard since 1968.
Here it comes, possibly the biggest online midsummer auction anywhere of heavy equipment, trucks, tools, lumber, and much more. Presented by the Murphy Auction Company, bidding is underway now. Featured items include a 2020 Bobcat E32i excavator with less than 1,000 hours, a 2016 Freightliner 2100 Hydrovac truck, a 2011 John Deere 310J 4x4 backhoe, and much more. 10 excavators, 4 backhoes, 11 forklifts, 5 boom and scissor lifts, 5 rollers, 28 golf carts, and more than 60 heavy trucks. But wait, there's more. Attachments, roll-off boxes, shipping containers, contractor tools, lumber, and much more all go into the highest bidder. Preview all items August 11th and 12th, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at our location in Marysville, 3803 136th Street Northeast. For pictures, catalogs, and all details, visit murphyauction.com. That's murphyauction.com. murphyauction.com.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa this weekend only, today through Sunday. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa this weekend only, today through Sunday. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates this weekend only. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Deep, deep discounts. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Today, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission. Free delivery. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. Analysts were expecting a net gain of jobs last month. Instead, the Labor Department reports 23,000 went away. Totals for June and May were revised downward. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze.
This is job losses last month, and the expectation had been that we would see over 80,000 new jobs added. There are certain sectors where the jobs were lost by the biggest amounts: local government, education, retail, hotels, and food services. We did also see a drop in the participation rate, meaning fewer people were trying to find work.
The Department of Homeland Security says while it promised to equip each enforcement team with an officer wearing a body camera, it says it will review footage and will only release it when it is in the best interest of the agency. Todd Blanche has just enough support to become the next Attorney General, with Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy saying that he will vote for him. Wall Street's major indexes closed higher. This is ABC News. A growing number of national restaurant chains are pulling jalapenos from their menus due to a salmonella outbreak linked to the spicy peppers. They include Sweet Green, Qdoba, and Chipotle, who all say they're doing it out of precaution. ABC News medical contributor Dr. Alok Patel.
What's concerning and tricky about this is produce such as jalapenos, they don't go through that cooking step to kill the bacteria. They get chopped up and then added later to another product.
Dr. Patel advises when in doubt, cook the jalapenos. A New Mexico court has ordered Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, to pay $567 million to address children's mental health.
By far, the largest category will be $420 million for treatment. That's to treat the kids who have been impacted by addiction and exploitation in our state. but also requires screening and assessment, awareness prevention.
New Mexico Attorney General Raul Torres describing that deal. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
Coming up, a security scare inside a hospital emergency department. That's after Nate Connors at the traffic desk.
And this is brought to you by your Seattle Mariners. Everett Marysville is a half-hour commute already. It is jam-packed from 526 all the way to 88 there in front of the Toledo Resort Casino. South 5 into Seattle, we're heavy from Northgate into downtown. And then from there, it starts to thin out, but it remains crowded all the way to Mid-Boeing Field. I'm not hearing or seeing any blocking problems here. It's just volume. North 5, scattered backups between the Michigan Curve and Ship Canal Bridge, about 25 minutes to clear this. South 5 heading into South Center at the West Valley Highway. Got a crash blocking your right lane. Just a brief backup here. It's northbound 405 that's jammed up from I-5 and South Center through the S-Curve. South Center to Bellevue's up to 40 minutes. Tacoma to Olympia, an hour, 10-minute drive. Solid backup now between JBLM and Olympia. Coming the other way, Olympia to Tacoma, 45 minutes. Got about a 3-mile backup through Nisqually. And on the water, we have 2-hour waits for drivers at the Edmonds Terminal and the Mukilteo Terminal. Don't miss the biggest event of the year at T-Mobile Park, 50 Season Celebration Night tomorrow, presented by Daktronics. Get your tickets at mariners.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. Gunfire today inside the multi-care Bonnie Lake Emergency Department. Pierce County Sheriff's Deputy Carly Capetto says a man was barricaded inside.
It was a male subject armed with a handgun inside the multi-care urgent care emergency room.
Bonnie Lake police say the man shot himself just before noon. He is now in custody receiving medical care. Hospital officials say all patients and staff are safe, but at last check, ER is still closed and not accepting patients at this time. Tacoma police are investigating a deadly shooting overnight. KIRO 7 TV's Lindsay Sheldon reports officers arrived just after 2 a.m. near North 30th and McCarver Streets.
When they got there, they found a man with gunshot wounds. They attempted to save him, but he died at the scene. Police are investigating this as a homicide, so if you have any info, call Tacoma Police.
Seattle's new interim police chief, Andre Sales, says he has faith in Mayor Katie Wilson's leadership.
I think we all owe it to ourselves to make our own judgments of people. And in this week, the 3 times I met with Mayor Wilson, I have trust in what she wants me to push forward, and that is public safety.
Speaking to KIRO Radio, Sales did not have an update on the investigation into the Bite of Seattle shooting. Police are still looking for multiple people involved in that shooting that killed 3 people and injured 4 others, including a 2-year-old. Mayor Wilson appointed Sales in the wake of that shooting and controversy surrounding former Chief Sean Barnes. A newly introduced proposal in the Seattle City Council would ban grocers from using personal data in dynamic pricing. Mayor Wilson supports it.
And so it's really protecting against this abuse of data collection and algorithms where personal information can be used to set individual prices.
Large grocers have formed a coalition in opposition, saying it prevents them from giving individualized discounts. And a Washington folk rock star is postponing her upcoming UK and European tour. Brandi Carlile says personal circumstances led to this decision. Tour dates originally set for this October are now being moved to spring 2027. Carlile called the decision agonizing, but promised fans it will be worth the wait. To your forecast now, we are seeing improving air quality this afternoon, but red flag warning in effect for eastern Washington for today and tomorrow. Here in western Washington, nice weather, upper 70s, low 80s this weekend, and sunny skies. Right now, 81 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio with your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the Jake and Spike Show. I'm Spike O'Neill. Greg Tomlin in this week. Appreciate you being here, buddy. It's time for our Friday favorites. We know that you guys all can't listen all 3 hours of the show. It'd be better for you if you could. You'd have a better life, I promise you. And sometimes we cover stories that part of the audience doesn't get a chance to enjoy or share with you. So we go back and look at our favorite stories of the week just to relive some good news or to maybe share that information, that story with a portion of events that did hear it the first time. Greg, as our visiting co-host this week, would you like to go first?
I would. So there's a certain song that comes to mind when I think about my Friday favorite, and that is a tune by College and Electric Youth from the movie Drive, and it goes something like this: a real human being and a real hero. I'm talking about Paul Child. This was the concerned citizen in Spokane who carried through with the see something, say something mantra and reported a suspicious character to authorities that looked like he might be up to no good. And when he recounted the encounter, he said this in an interview.
He was bent over, looking towards, doing something in the grass and toward the tree line area. And when he saw us, he immediately stood up, turned around to face us and watched us the whole way. Kind of doing that kind of nervous shuffle a little bit, and so that's when the curiosity really got piqued. And I said, that OSOB started a fire because it was in the exact same spot that he was standing. So we called 911.
Hopefully we'll be held accountable for all the action and all the devastation that he's caused to the city.
Love it. He should be celebrated for this because, my goodness, the narrative would be much different, and we would have been talking about much different things all week. Well, Spike, had Farinacci not been brought into custody.
Not just the narrative, maybe the story would be worse. This guy, during his questioning, he admitted to law enforcement that not only did he start this fire, he spent 2 weeks checking weather, checking wind, to find the most advantageous time to start an arson, a fire, and do the most damage. He confessed to starting 25 fires last year between about a 1 month, 5 week window from July to August of 2025. Can you imagine if this guy hadn't been picked up, if the witness hadn't alerted authorities, if he was still out there in the wind, no pun intended, and starting more fires in this community that suffered so much?
Can we just play that favorite part of my clip from Paul Child one more time, Laura?
I said, that OSOB started a fire.
Yes. Hats off to you, Paul Child.
Hats off to you. Absolutely, man. And that fire has, it's still wreaking havoc. There's high wind warnings for the Spokane area this weekend. 4,000 firefighters have come in to fight that fire and help that community from every state west of the Mississippi practically, as well as a crew from Australia. Federal resources have been put into play to help with equipment, with emergency housing and food and water for those fleeing the fire. 65,000 plus people have been evacuated. Over 900 structures have been destroyed because of this fire from an arsonist. So kudos to you. Great choice on, was it Paul Child's?
Yes, it's Paul Child. It sounds
Paul
like
Child.
a rock star name almost.
A little bit.
It's fitting.
A little bit. So our prayers and our thoughts, and keep everybody in Eastern Washington in mind. Oh, by the way, if you'd like to help, there are numerous mechanisms to help donate to those impacted by this fire. And we've got them at My Northwest. There's linked there to all the places that you can donate. Make sure when you do donate into any charitable organization, especially this right now, I should say, make sure it's a reputable organization. Because far too often in moments like this, while it brings out the best of us, it also brings out the worst, and a lot of scammers going around out there. So donate, but be cautious when you do. Laura, would you like to go next?
Yeah, mine is also like Greg's about a local hero, someone who works at the station by the name of Ted Beener. He had to make a very difficult call on Saturday that broke hearts, I would say, across the region. He was a major part of the decision to cancel the Saturday Blue Angels show. And he joined G and Ursula to kind of talk about that experience.
How do you sleep well at night knowing that in your heart you're doing what's best for everyone?
Well, you just said it right there.
Right.
It was the right thing to do. It's all about safety. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be on approach to SeaTac Airport and see a Blue Angel right out my window.
This is
That
correct.
would freak me out.
So yeah, he kind of elaborated and talked about why he made the call, and it had everything to do with the direction of the wind that particular day.
This had nothing to do with the winds on Lake Union. This had everything to do with the winds at SeaTac Airport.
Oh.
And the winds that afternoon were 15 gusts to 30 miles per hour out of the south. And normally during Seafair, they'll have airplanes flying to the north and take off. You circle away as soon as you take off the runway, and you're out of harm's way. So this was about having passenger flights flying south through the airspace that the Blue Angels would be using. That's a safety issue, and that is why everything was canceled.
And it wasn't a popular decision, but it was the right decision. So kudos to Ted Beener.
Yeah, those are the hardest ones to make.
You know, Saturday, the show was canceled Saturday, of course. We're talking about Seafair Saturday. There was already weather. There was cloud cover, which forced a low show for the Angels, which already changed the patterns that they were allowed to fly into. And the winds at SeaTac, those flights in and out of SeaTac, they take precedent. And the Blue Angels themselves, they have parameters of where they can and will and won't fly.
Well, it was windy that morning. I will say, I called it. I was at the Museum of Flight and waiting to see where it's so cool at the Museum of Flight. You can see them take off and you can see them land. And I was so excited to do it. And then the president of the museum got up and said, "Hey guys, thank you all for coming." And I turned to my mom, who I was there with, and I said, "Cancel due to wind, cancel due to wind. I'm calling it now." Because it had been so windy all morning. Sure enough.
You know, it's...
they did come back the next day, thankfully.
They had a great show on Sunday.
Fantastic show.
And on Saturday, there was other aerial performances that took place. Just the Blue Angels themselves decided that their show could not be executed under these conditions. And it's, again, that's the right thing to do, man.
Has there been any follow-up on the breaks in the yellow log boom? I know that was a big thing on Saturday, too. I saw videos on my social media
log
feed.
Boom this year, too? Is that what I heard?
It was like a different material or something.
Different configuration. The wind had scattered, had forced a break in the log booms. The log boom, if you guys don't know, first off, welcome to town. We're glad you're here. Thanks for raising our home prices. It's logs that are chained together to make a long semicircle that gives people the ability to tie their boats up, their floating milk crate, whatever people put together to be part of Seafair, and watch the race from literally ringside. The wind broke the log boom apart. If it's that strong out there, it's a tough day to be on the lake. And people have fun at Seafair. It's a great day. I've done it myself. Spent days on Seafair Sundays on the log boom and every manner of flotation device. I was on a platform, a floating
Well, they're not actually logs anymore.
They're not really logs.
Heavy-duty polyethylene plastic.
Oh, no wonder it went sideways. What's wrong with logs? I get it. Then with these
something to do with climate change, I'm sure.
I'm sure. Well, we needed those logs to build affordable housing in the city. Thanks a lot, Mayor Wilson. You know, I've spent one Seafair Sunday. I was on a 25 by 20 foot floating platform.
I've spent a Seafair like that before in the past.
That's a horrible way to spend Seafair.
Is it?
I enjoyed a honey bucket. Time. Really? Because I
if
found
you got to go,
dying to get off that.
That's true.
I did anything I could to get any boat going by.
Sometimes libations accompany
they do.
Celebrating and reveling in the Seafair festivities. So I could see how that could become a problem. But I remember the best flyby or buzz I've ever had, buzz from an airplane.
From an airplane, because
was when I was in the middle of Lake Washington and they do that misdirection tactic at the end of their show. Yeah. I almost fell off into the water. It was so loud. And I swear to you, it felt like it was 10 feet over my head. But I can still feel the moment like it was yesterday.
It's still in part of your soul.
Yes.
And the folks who think that it's an antiquated celebration, it's not. It really is a tribute to...
Long live the Blue Angels and Seafair.
The very best of who we are and what we are capable of doing. And that's why those safety parameters were in place. And thank you, Ted Beener, for making sure nobody on Saturday had any fun. I kid. My Friday favorite is... if you don't mind, I'm going to double dip on this one. The NFL kicked off its preseason last night. I kind of became aware of it halfway through, but the Arizona Cardinals took on the Carolina Panthers at the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio. And it was pretty cool because I'm watching this game. Preseason games, first off, the preseason has been eliminated down to 3 games instead of 4. And last night the Panthers, it was the end of the game and their backup players are playing. And, like when you watch preseason games, it's always guys who aren't even going to make it to the regular roster.
But they're trying desperately to make it, so that can be entertaining.
Their all. The Carolina Panthers won the game on the last play of the game as their quarterback, Haynes King, this rookie, is in backup mode, and he runs the ball in the last play of the game and makes the end zone, and the Panthers beat the Cardinals 33-30. Even in a preseason game where half the guys are doormen, half the guys are bartenders, they're all going to be playing in the CFL. The fourth quarter it was still football, and football is back. The Seahawks don't have a game until the 15th. They'll play the Cowboys in their only home game, preseason game of the year.
Yeah.
Because of a 3-game schedule, we'll play 1 game against the Cowboys, then 2 road games.
And I'm looking forward to seeing the second episode of Hard Knocks on HBO because the first episode did not disappoint.
You're stealing my thunder.
Oh, no, sorry.
No, that's okay. Laura, if you could, this week, NFL premiered HBO's Hard Knocks. The Seattle Seahawks featured for the first time in team history, and like Greg said, it did not disappoint.
Man, you are champions! You have done it through our mentality of every freaking day. Next year, that's what it's going to take.
Let's go figure out how to get better from last year. We're just going to keep attacking.
12 is 1, okay? It's a relentless attitude.
This organization knows success.
The Seahawks and John Schneider made big moves.
We coming back next year.
Training camp, it's mental and physical preparation.
This locker room is unlike any locker room I've ever been a part of.
We got to get this on camera right here. Let's do what we do, baby. Let's spin. Let's go.
Is that a hot mic moment? Did you just go
fired up, ready to go?
Pete Carroll always had a policy that they were asked numerous times, the Seahawks, to take part in Hard Knocks. Pete Carroll said distractions are what undermines a team's ability to win. It's hard enough to win in the NFL. The Seahawks are defending champions. It's hard to repeat. Very few teams have ever done it. But as I watch Mike McDonald's team and these guys, and maybe it's just the HBO talking and the production quality of Hard Knocks, which it's incredible how inside they get to these practices and in this team. All the Hard Knock crews, they all wear like Seahawk gear, Seahawk T-shirts.
Oh.
They wear blue, so they almost become invisible on the field. This team is fired up and ready to go. They open the preseason against the Cowboys Saturday the 15th. They play 2 more preseason road games against the Titans and against the Chiefs. And then they open at home. The NFL season kicks off Wednesday, September 9th.
My favorite part of the season premiere of Hard Knocks with the Seahawks was, I don't know if you remember it, Spike, but a multiple fights break out during training camp.
Yeah.
While the offense and defense are going back and forth. And I'm sitting there thinking from a leadership perspective, what does Mike McDonald feel about this? And it was very illuminating and fascinating to hear him say, I don't mind the fighting so much. But one of his assistant coaches catches some of the conversation that is going on between players that are fighting. And one player says something to the effect of, hey, when you got your big contract, that changed you or something. And so wind of that gets back to the head coach, Mike McDonald. And Mike McDonald confronts the player who spoke that and says, hey, look, I don't mind a little back and forth. I understand there's some cheap shots there and you got to defend yourself. But he goes, what you said there crossed the line. And he goes, this is your teammate. You should be feeling happy for him.
Right.
And so you need to go up, give him a hug. You need to make amends for it. And I love those leadership dynamics that play out and seeing what a coach deems is acceptable kind of infighting, but what then crosses a line and then what he stresses to maintain a healthy, well-functioning culture. And I thought Mike McDonald just nailed it.
This guy's a phenomenal football coach in only his second year. He's a defending Super Bowl champion, and he is the face of the Seattle Seahawks. And it didn't seem possible after losing Pete Carroll and turning the page like they have. But this team looks like they're ready, stay healthy, and,
sure.
and they could repeat.
But and then managing all those different personalities, and you said it. I mean, McDonald and his staff seem kind of unaffected by the cameras being in there. And in fact, in one scene, he says, "Bring it on! I want people to see you guys in action, and I want them to see the chemistry we have and how you guys conduct yourselves." And I thought that's a much different perspective.
It really is
than we're used to.
It's a brave new world. The other half of my Friday favorites is, as I mentioned a little bit ago, my feed has been inundated with 50th anniversary Mariner celebrations this weekend. Tonight's the Home Run Derby, featuring all these former Mariner greats. And tomorrow night, the 50 greatest Mariners of all time, spanning all 5 decades of Mariner baseball, will be on hand at T-Mobile Park for the fans to celebrate. We'll have Chris Sullivan on in just a couple minutes, talking about traffic that's going to be affected, how these two events of Seahawk Fanfare and Mariners 50th anniversary celebration are both taking part side by side on Saturday night down in the Stadium District. The cameras will be on, I hope. Thank you, Mayor Wilson. But it reminded me, because I wore my jersey today, I wore my Payrod jersey today, because it was announced earlier this week on Seattle Sports that Alex Rodriguez, A-Rod, is going to be part of that 50th greatest Mariners, and he should be. He was a tremendous talent. Spent like the first 7 years of his career with the Mariners.
He was on that 95 team,
He was on the 95 team that saved baseball for Seattle. He deserves our love and our respect, but that wasn't always the case. I wore my jersey today, and G. Scott asked me, he's like, Spike, if you get a chance to, are you going to boo A-Rod when they announce his name and he stands up and takes his place among the 50 greatest Mariners of all time? And I admit, I said, nah, I've grown up since then. This jersey's 35 years old.
I can't believe
from
that.
1991.
Does not seem that long ago.
But because he went from hero to villain, and we're faulting A-Rod at that point for baseball's broken with the way the salary structure is and no salary cap and the way the teams can just spend whatever they want to spend. And they bought A-Rod away from Seattle. We were a small town team, and at the time I was working with the Bob Rivers Show. We're making song parodies, and we made this song parody about A-Rod and Payrod. And as much as I want to, the pain's still there, the wound is still open. So, Laura, if you would.
1, 2, 3. Steinbrenner don't mess around. He lets the money flow. He wants to win for sure. We know he really wants to screw the little teams with all his high-priced homes. He likes to buy the talent till the Yankees lineups like a bloated cow. Lets him do whatever, 'cause you know that's how he got A-Rod. He paid that one. A-Rod. Spend it, spend it.
This hour is brought to you by Davis Law Group.
Dear Ursula, I have a group of friends who have bonded over...
Hi, I'm Ursula Voitin from the G and Ursula Show, and I'm launching a new podcast called Ask Ursula. This is your space. Real life, real questions, whether it's about family, friendships, love, and yes, even the fun stuff like travel and finding your signature scent. Hit me up and ask your questions at mynorthwest.com/Ursula. I look forward to connecting with you.
At mynorthwest.com and the G and Ursula YouTube channel.
Hey, Spike O'Neill for Aegis Living. I've told you about my family's interaction with Aegis Living. My aunt and uncle spent their final time together at an Aegis Living facility with memory care. My aunt had surgery, a different aunt had surgery, and spent some respite care at Aegis Living. If it's a point of your life where you're thinking of assisted living or memory care is in your future, do yourself a favor and visit Aegis Living. Take a look at their facilities. Voted #1 in the nation by Seniorly Magazine. 1 million reviews of 60,000 communities nationwide, and Aegis ranked #1 in the country. There's no one does it better. Go to agesliving.com/Spike and schedule a visit today. You'll be glad you did.
Looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get the same breakthrough one-day treatment I received at Advanced Hair during their once yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during their best offer of the year. For details and a free consultation, call 425-449-8185, advancedhair.com.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi?
And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repair, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-822-1490. That's 800-822-1490. 800-822-1490.
If you haven't been to the Earthwise Salvage Lumber Warehouse in Soto yet, this is the week. Fresh shipments land every day. Beams, flooring, shelves, live edge slabs, and so much more. One-of-a-kind pieces you can't find anywhere else. Contractors, designers, DIYers, no time to lumber around. Inventory changes daily. This stuff is rare, it's real, and once it's gone for good. So get here first. Earthwise Salvage Lumber Warehouse. Open in Soto. Go to EWSalvage.com.
Rev up your summer at LeMay, America's Car Museum. Explore the new British bike exhibition, professional level race simulators, and mark your calendar for Tacoma Cars and Coffee or family drive-in movie nights. Plan your visit now at americascarmuseum.org.
It's the little things at Subaru of Puyallup, a team that listens, straightforward pricing. Through August 31st, incredible financing on select models during the Subaru A Lot to Love event. Subaru of Puyallup, your stress-free dealership.
Anthony Hamilton with Tony, live in the Tulalip Amphitheater, Thursday, September 10th. Tickets are on sale now. Details at TulalipCasino.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo.
We're headed into a very challenging fire weekend in this state.
Commissioner of Public Lands Dave Upthegrove there with a message for all of Washington this weekend.
Please don't be the spark that starts the next fire.
He says resources are stretched thin with 17 major fires burning across the states and a red flag warning in effect east of the Cascades today and tomorrow. Here's KIRO 7 meteorologist Nick Allard with more on that.
You're going to see, say, for example, a 40-mile-an-hour gust in Ellensburg tonight, and you may see another one tomorrow evening, say at the same place east of the Cascades in the 30 and 40 range, and that makes me nervous. Not because the weather itself may, have lightning or start a new fire, but anything that starts will spread rapidly, and anything that's already going, which obviously is a lot, could spread and change direction, so that's something that concerns me.
In Spokane County, Sheriff John Knowles says it's still not safe to return to neighborhoods that burned last week in those 3 wildfires.
The decision for us to let the public into those areas will be when we are confident that there is no risk to their life immediately or into the future.
Around 65,000 people were told to evacuate last week. Crews are still battling smaller fires that keep popping up in those neighborhoods. More than 900 homes and other structures burned there. Washington State Ferries is taking another step toward cleaner transportation. Here's KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey with more on that.
A steel-cutting ceremony in Florida kicked off construction of the state's first hybrid electric ferry. Washington State Ferries' Steve Nevey was there.
Transitioning to hybrid electric propulsion allows us to replace aging ships while significantly reducing emissions and improving our long-term operating efficiency.
The new 160-car vessel is the first in a series designed to create the nation's largest hybrid electric ferry fleet. State leaders say their investment is ultimately about serving people and communities. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
It is one of Seattle's most recognizable landmarks. The iconic Old Rainier Brewery is looking for a new owner. Seattle Times reports the complex, famous for its giant neon R overlooking I-5 in Soto, is on the market for $29 million. It's about 17% less than its asking price a year ago. Now to the real-time traffic desk at 2:33. Here's Nate Connors.
It's a busy one this afternoon, Aaron. This one brought to you by Seattle Sports. In fact, it's looking like a repeat of last Friday. If you recall, there were major backups up and down the I-5 corridor from Everett to Olympia, and we're looking at the same thing. Everett to Marysville has climbed to 40 minutes. That's double the norm. Packed from 526 all the way to the Outlet Mall in Marysville. That's a 13-mile backup. South 5 into Seattle, heavy from Northgate to I-90. Then you're going to clear out those earlier backups south of the West Seattle Bridge have cleared. So 35-minute drive from Linwood. Southbound 99, you're thick approaching the Aurora Bridge down to the stadiums. North 5, scattered backups from Albro Place up to the Ship Canal Bridge. Half hour to get through all this. Bellevue to South Center on 405 is going to take you 40 minutes. Bumper to bumper from Northeast 8th down to Northeast 44th there near the VMAC. Westbound 16 heading out toward Gig Harbor. Bumper to bumper from Midspan on the Narrows Bridge up to Alachua Drive. Tacoma to Olympia, an hour 5 minutes. It is solid between JBLM and Olympia. About 16 miles of backups here, and huge backups heading to the Hood Canal Bridge due to a series of marine crossings. About 4-mile backups coming in from either direction. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
To your forecast now. This weekend is shaping up to be a nice one here across western Washington. That wildfire smoke moving out of town. It'll head east, unfortunately, where there's a red flag warning in effect east of the Cascades there today and tomorrow. But again, here, sunshine and highs in the upper 70s and low 80s. We're up to 83 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Jake and Spike Show. We are honored, as always, to have Chris Sullivan. Sully's on with us now because this weekend we'll have a lot of goings-on and a lot of intrusions into your ability to take part in the fun.
Yeah, Saturday is going to be a huge day. And not because it's my birthday. And not because it's Ursula Reutin's birthday. But
I say shut the city down right now.
Yeah,
start the party.
Huge parties for both Ursula and myself. No, the Mariners and the Seahawks are both hosting massive parties Saturday at the same time and basically in the same place. The Mariners have their 50-season ceremony Saturday.
With the home run derby and all the dignitaries.
All the dignitaries, the special events, all of that. So that's Saturday at, starting, the first pitch there is at 6:40, but the ceremony's at 5:30. And Seahawks Fan Fest right across the street at Lumen is the gates open there at 4:15 and it starts at 5 o'clock, 5:20. So we have these two massive events for sports fans.
And the Taylor Swift concert is also in that.
Yeah, exactly. And Ed Sheeran, the Teletubbies are going to have a reunion.
Lionel Richie's coming back to town again this weekend.
Actually, I believe he's doing something with the Commodores at Earth, Wind, and Fire. I think somewhere.
That was
like a muffle shooter. That was just
no,
recently,
it was just Tuesday. It was Tuesday or Monday night. It was Monday night at Climate Pledge.
Yeah, so there you go.
So did the Mariners move the gate time? I heard. Is that true?
The Mariners for this weekend, you probably haven't seen this publicized. If you are going to the event, a 6:40 first pitch, the gates would normally open at, 5:20? The main gates, not the pen. The pen's a little earlier. But with the ceremony at 5:30, that didn't make any sense. You know how many people are going to be lined up outside to try to get there to make sure? Right. So they're going to open up about an hour earlier than normal. In fact, all gates at T-Mobile are going to be open by 4:20 on Saturday afternoon.
Okay,
so you can get in there in advance. The pen's going to open at 3:50. So I'm not sure if the alcohol is still available. I'm trusting it would be.
I would not let anybody in without it.
Money. But yes. So they're going to open the gates well in advance, more so than a typical day, so they can get everybody in there, get them so their butts are in the seats for that ceremony that starts at 5:30. So that'll be really cool. But again, gate times have changed, and again, the gates open at Lumen at 4:15. So about the same. So we were talking about it earlier this week on Seattle's Morning News. Charlie and I were talking about, it's like, what do you do as a fan? If you're a Seahawk and a Mariners fan, most of us probably fall into that camp where we like both teams. We love both teams.
Yeah.
What do? You can't go to both. I mean, I guess you could. But you got to kind of pick your poison there, because they're both on at the same time and basically the same place.
Well, at least there's a combined fan base.
Yeah,
it's not like we got a heavy metal show here and a country show there, and two completely different fan bases show up.
Totally on an unrelated note, there used to be a venue up in in Everett that upstairs was rap, downstairs was country. It was one of the greatest nights of my life, because I get down like, what's going on down here? And then you go upstairs, you're like, wow! That was an entirely crazy night.
Good for you.
Yeah, that was an incredible night, actually.
And that's how you met Holly, right?
We were already. Yeah, actually, that was one of our Catholic grade school's pub crawl ended there.
Oh my!
Great planning by St. Mary Magdalene in Everett. Shout out to you guys.
So when does your book come out? My sidebar.
Yeah, there are a lot of weird things, but no. So what we're recommending, and I asked the Seattle Department of Transportation, okay, what's your game plan? Obviously, option A, I think we've come to learn, and light rail's now mature enough that that's pretty much option A. We found out that it works really well.
Yeah.
Obviously, last weekend we had some hiccups. We can get into that.
They got
large hiccups.
Yes.
We can get into that in a minute. But light rail's a good way, and the Seattle Department of Transportation is like, make a day of this. Instead of trying to time it to be there around 3:30, why not show up in downtown at noon, have lunch, hang out with a bunch of sports fans, and kind of turn this into what we saw during the World Cup.
Great idea.
Where everyone just kind of came down, made a day of it, get down there early, no stress, stay late, just make a good time out. It's going to be another sunny summer weekend. Hopefully the smoke will have moved out by then locally.
That's the rumor, yeah.
And so, make a day, because you don't want to all be trying to get there at basically the same time, and you don't want to be leaving at the same time. Now, the Fan Fest will end a little earlier. Their last event, I think, is at 7. And the Mariners game by then will probably only be like in the second or third inning.
You'll go till after 9. Yeah.
So just make a day of it and enjoy it. And that's probably your best bet. The SDOT's going to be tweaking their signal timing as best they can. They're going to have SPD out there like normal. They've done multiple shows at multiple times.
Yeah, and they run
there before.
They run trains more frequently. Is that the case this weekend as well?
That's what happened during the train derailment last Saturday, early Sunday morning. That if you weren't here, one of the light rail trains derailed slow speed in the Chinatown International District. It was an empty train that they were trying to shuttle down to the Stadium District to add more capacity for everybody leaving Ed Sheeran, because that's what they did. So they were adding more train to kind of get the last of the people out of there when it derailed. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. I wouldn't anticipate it would.
Has anybody made the joke yet that the Ed Sheeran concert, the same day that the Bolts had been shearing off the tracks.
And the concert was off the rails.
There you go. Thanks. So they have made these jokes. Thank you.
Again, there was nobody on the train. It was empty. There was dead heading down, so we can make jokes about it.
There were bolts that had been sheared clean
off, and they aren't exactly sure why. They're Sound Transit is investigating. They're looking at everything.
Well, it's still a relatively new system in the first decade, even
but still, it's only the second time we've had something like this particularly happen. So, but I would still use light rail if I'm heading down to these events.
It has become the primary choice of how to get to town.
I agree. Even I'm sure you got other options, but again, that should be option A. It's mature enough, and plus, you have parking now on the east side, and you can catch a train across too. We have other options for this, but Saturday's going to be busy.
What other closures this weekend may have? If you can't take the train, and you're coming in, what else you got?
Okay, well, here's the situation. We've got major construction projects. I mean, knock on wood if you heard this before. I mean, Ship Canal Bridge, obviously, we're down to the 2 lanes again. There's nothing new there. But 405 northbound is going to be closed entirely in Renton, basically from Sunset there all the way up to Coal Creek Parkway, the entire weekend. So if you're coming back from FanFest, I'm thinking Seahawks, if you're in a team bus, you're going to have to go the other direction because you won't be able to go to the south and get back up to the VMAC.
Both directions?
Only northbound.
Only
it's
northbound.
Between the Sunset and Coal Creek Parkway.
Gotcha.
If you're up in if you get off at Kirkland all weekend long, all the exits to 85th are going to be closed, on and off ramps from both directions of 405 all weekend long. So that's not an option. But I think the biggest problem what we might run into is eastbound 520 is closed Saturday night from I-5 to Montlake. So instead of going the crush across I-90, maybe you go up and you go take 520. You can't do that from 7 o'clock Friday night till 11 on Sunday morning. So that's going to be a big problem to get across the lake. Now, the bridge eastbound will still be open, but only if you get on in Montlake. You can't go from I-5 to Montlake as they're working on the Roanoke lid right above the station here.
Yep.
So that one I think will probably have the biggest impact if people aren't aware that's happening. They're like, I want to avoid I-90. I'll work my way through downtown. I'll pop up and get on 520. You can't in the eastbound direction on Saturday night, and that's right. And that's at 7 o'clock when both events would be letting out technically. So this one isn't an after the events. This one's a 7 p.m. on Saturday.
It's like Dr. Evil runs WASDOT and he's like, I've got an idea to close routes.
Exactly. So and again, they're fighting the rainy seasons, which are somewhere out and about. They're trying to get as much as they can. So a huge construction weekend to go with these double events. So it'll be interesting. It'll be busy. You're going to need a plan.
This has been a lot of information. Where can folks find this if they didn't write it down today?
Okay, mynorthwest.com. If it's not there, today populated, you can always go mynorthwest.com/choke points. They're all up there. Everything that Nate and I write and the web team write related to transportation. They'll have all the times. They have construction zone, the maps, all the things that you need, links to the projects to let you know. Just go out and enjoy the weekend. It's going to be awesome.
Thanks.
It's going to be a great time.
I appreciate you staying late, buddy. Go enjoy your weekend. You've earned it.
Well, it's my birthday now.
Happy birthday.
Time to celebrate.
Yeah.
A wildfire disaster unfolding just east of us.
The Spokane fires
destroyed hundreds of homes and forced tens of thousands to evacuate.
Unprecedented stories of loss, devastation, and heartbreak.
It was a beautiful home. It really was.
And there was a lot of terror because it's loud. It's hot.
Join KIRO Newsradio in doing whatever you can for our neighbors in Spokane. See how you can help at mynorthwest.com.
If you're over 62 and worried about how far your retirement savings will go, I'd like you to hear this. I'm Steve Teitler, owner of Best Mortgage. Every week I talk with seniors who love their home and want to stay, but feel financial pressure every month. Property taxes keep going up. Insurance costs more. Everyday bills add up, and for some, they still have a mortgage payment. If you're wondering how long your savings need to last, a reverse mortgage may be worth a look. It could eliminate your mortgage payment, pay off debts, and give you breathing room every month. Now, I want to make it clear it's not right for everyone, but for the right person, it can be a very smart financial tool. When you call Best Mortgage, you'll speak directly with me. I'll explain your options and tell you honestly if it makes sense for you. If you want to stay in your home with less financial stress, call me, 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, honest advice you can trust, 425-649-6000.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, today through Sunday. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, today through Sunday. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Deep, deep discounts. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Today, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission. Free delivery. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
I'm not one to say I told you so, but I switched to Pure Talk over a year ago, and ever since, I've been telling people there's no better wireless company out there. Well, a few months ago, a massive survey was conducted. 123,000 people were asked to rate their wireless carrier in 4 categories: coverage, support, data, and overall value. Well, the results are in. Guess which wireless company was the only wireless company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. 5 stars, every category. To celebrate, Pure Talk is offering the first 3 months of any plan for just $15 a month, including their top-tier unlimited plan. No contract, no commitment, just a very inexpensive way to test drive the only American wireless company with 5 stars in every category. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will take it from there. Again, pound 250 micro. And yes, I told you so.
For 250 years, Americans have believed in one powerful idea, that we are meant to live free. Free to work hard, free to move, free to enjoy life without being held back. But if the natural effects of aging are slowing you down, it might be time to declare your independence from aging. John Curley here. Longevity Medical Clinic has been treating the undesirable effects of aging for nearly 30 years. They have more clinical experience with actual patient care than any longevity practice in the country. I've been a patient for 17 years. Wow, time flies when you got a lot of energy. I don't know where I'd be today without longevity. Longevity Medical Clinic was started so people can get back to living life on their own terms, walking, working, exercising, and enjoying the moments that matter most. This year, as we celebrate 250 years of American independence, take a stand for your own freedom. Get your free health analysis at Longevity Medical Clinic. Find out more at lmclinic.com.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Progressive Insurance. Progressive can protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, RV, and more. In short, a lot of things. Bundle today at Progressive.com.
Looking for the best deal on a new home? Discover the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. With new home communities from Lacey to Stanwood, D.R. Horton has the right home for the best value. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
You're in charge of ordering boxes. Small boxes, really big boxes. You're in charge of tape, labels, mailers, bubble wrap, extra bubble wrap, just for fun. You're in charge of warehouse cleaning and safety supplies. Good thing there's Uline. Thousands of quality products for your business and warehouse needs, always in stock, ready to ship same day, and backed by Uline's legendary 24/7 customer service. Uline makes it easy because you already do enough. Uline, we warehouse for you.
Welcome back to the Jake and Spike Show. Greg Tomlin, great job this week. I've enjoyed having your company and your conversation, your point of view all week long.
It's been an honor, Spike. I've had a blast. Thanks for having me in.
Yeah, we love having you, man. So it's now last call, time for you to give your take on what we said today. Let's start off with Laura, why don't you start?
On the arsonist and the Spokane fires, Stephanie from Olympia says, my coworker's neighborhood was destroyed in the Old Trails fire. His house and only a few others were left standing, but he hasn't been able to get back to assess damage. Hearing how this arsonist sounds like he planned this fire to great lengths, he sounds pretty competent to me.
That's an interesting question. If he can literally watch weather patterns and air movement for 2 weeks, total premeditation. Hard to argue that you're not sane putting that kind of work into your crime.
Well, and what this text also highlights to me is that we've paid a lot of attention this week to the alleged arsonist here, but there are over 60,000 individual stories that are just devastating to people, and we can't forget the real human toll here. But thankfully, it appears at this juncture still no confirmed deaths.
No confirmed deaths, no injuries. And in fact, there was a story I heard this morning that the texter mentioned, Stephanie mentioned, her neighbor can't get back into the area yet because they're what they call ash pits, where people are trying to get back in to check their properties, have to see what's left, if anything. And there are so many hot embers and covered in ash, and people have become injured, not from the fire itself, but trying to get in to see the aftermath. So police are asking people to stay clear until they give you a sign that it's safe to go back.
Got a text from the 253. We need more people to be courageous, to see something, say something anonymously, and identify tips for arson. 800-555-ARSON and www.arsonalarm.org.
And on door-to-door salesman in my neighborhood, Joey says, these days people just shouldn't be going door-to-door. There are way too many ways to advertise your solicitation or business rather than door-to-door. Social media, websites, radio commercials, especially here at KIRO. Well done.
On pre-phone car games to beat boredom, 425 says, for us, it was Slug Bug, or count the different state license plates.
What is Slug Bug?
Did you guys never play Slug Bug?
Oh, no. You're kidding me? With Volkswagen?
Mm-mm.
You see a Volkswagen, you get to punch somebody in the arm. Slug Bug.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
My arm was always sore because my sister was a good spotter and a hard puncher.
Nice.
You not only get to play a game, but you get to punch your sibling. It's the greatest game ever.
It's a win-win.
Yeah.
Except for the person being punched. Leela, my friend's son started driving, and he doesn't know any direction very well because he was gaming or on his phone all the time in the car.
360 says, my kids are now 25 and 19. We live in the country. We play a buck, and a quarter a doe. See tons of deer that way.
Okay.
Interesting.
Creative.
A buck.
On Payrod, Elliot on a ship in Texas says the Payrod game was also Boeing Employee Appreciation Night, and A-Rod had written Boeing a public letter encouraging Boeing to leave Seattle and move their headquarters to whatever city he was playing for. The boos were legendary.
I forgot that's right.
On the automatic pass for the bar exam topic, Mike in Puyallup, Washington State already moved to not require a bar exam to practice law, and this was 2 years ago.
And they provided a link of proof of this. Did you guys know this? I didn't know
that
this.
Students in
I
Washington
guess I'd forgotten.
That's relevant information that could have been helpful in the story we got from the news.
Thanks, Mike.
From the Seattle Times. Good gravy. Steve in Seattle. My brother-in-law is an attorney, and he's never been able to pass a bar exam. He always goes in and has a beer. Oh, wait a minute.
I see what he did there.
I misread that. My brother-in-law is an attorney, and he's never been able to pass a bar. He always goes in and has a beer. Dad joke. Thank you.
It made it rough that you had to do it twice, but I get it. 360, they can still work doing paralegal work.
Well, according to Mike in Puyallup, you don't need to pass a bar exam to practice law in Washington. On Luke's diagnosis, and we had so many of you reach out for that. Thank you so much. If you didn't hear, Luke Ducey's going to be off for a few weeks. He's having a surgery. It's a big deal. He has a tumor they're removing. It's benign. He's got an incredible prognosis. He's going to chronologue the whole ordeal for us, record it, and share it with the audience as a way to tell people, get yourself checked out. Don't wait on it, and be your own advocate for your own health care.
360 says, Luke, 1, I think you are a great reporter. 2, I appreciate you sharing this health problem. He didn't have to share it with us.
True.
And 3, I'm sending positive energy your way. Call me a wacko, but I like to think that helps.
Keith and Roberta in the 425 will be thinking of you. We were just talking to someone a couple days ago whose friend just had the same surgery and is feeling so much better.
I had no idea how common this was. That was really startling to me.
I know we're limited in time. I just wanted to say thank you to the A-team here. Spike, Laura, it's been a pleasure sitting in with you all week.
Pleasure's ours, buddy. We'll always love having you.
Yeah.
John Curley's in next, everybody. Have a great weekend. Be safe out there.
Yeah, we lost literally everything.
Join KIRO News Radio in doing whatever you can for our neighbors in Spokane.
And there was a lot of terror. It's loud, it's hot.
See how you can help at mynorthwest.com.
This is it. These are the nights. The ones where you laugh until you can't anymore. And smile until your head hits the pillow. Where everything feels just right. Because it is. Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Must be 21 and over. Please gamble responsibly.
Insulation rebates from PSE are at historic highs. American Crawl Space and Pest Services gave over $3 million in PSE insulation rebates last year, more than any contractor in Washington. Homeowners, business owners, and PSE trust American Crawl Space and Pest Services. Was your home built before 1990? Visit AmericanCrawl.com to see how much you can save on replacing your insulation.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
50 seasons of moments. 50 seasons of legends. A once-in-a-lifetime event. Join Mariners past and present at T-Mobile Park August 7th through 9th for 50 Season Celebration Weekend. The festivities begin Friday with a post-game slugfest, the Alumni Home Run Derby featuring Ichiro and other former Mariners sluggers. Presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Saturday will be a showstopper. 50 Season Celebration Night presented by Daktronics. Arrive early to witness the biggest gathering of franchise icons ever assembled as the 50 greatest Mariners from across all 5 decades are revealed.
It just continues. My.
The weekend wraps up on Sunday with a collectible 50 Seasons pin giveaway thanks to KeyBank. Seats are going fast. Get yours at mariners.com/tickets.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repair, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
John's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, where he can get a battery for under $100. Lonnie, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge. And Lonnie does that for free too. In no time at all, John is back on the road. Ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors,